Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? Welcome to another stream, like I said in the title and on Twitter and everything. Today's stream is pretty casual. We're just hanging out and looking for more conspiracy people to take a look at for Tinfoil Tuesdays. I do this every once in a while just to try and find some new people so we're not doing the same people every single week, and it feels like we've been kind of rehashing the same stuff a lot lately, so I thought it was time to do this again and maybe find some new creators to look at on Tinfoil Tuesdays. So, this will be fun, not as structured. We're going to jump around a lot. Expect there to be some videos that we start looking at, realize it's boring after 2 or 3 minutes, then jump off and look for something else. It's, you know, these have not been vetted, whatever we look at. This is the vetting process. So, if you don't like it, come back on Tuesday. Anyway, let's take a look at what we have in the chat. Briar Rose 1984, thanks for 16 months, says woot. What else? Happy Rabbit Day. Oh yeah, it is Easter. You found an interesting conspiracy blog. Thank you. Oh god. Okay, interesting. Crowd sources vetting. Yep. If you have any links or anything for me, today's a good day. If it's conspiracy related, we can take a look at them as long as they're safe, you know? Enter the Unfamiliar. I have this channel, actually. He hasn't posted in a while. He's a friend of Peter, or at least a sort of vague acquaintance. They've been on each other's shows at one point, or Peter has been on his show at some point, though I think he has that behind a paywall, which is obnoxious. Bumble Homestead says, post-Ren Fair zoink out on the couch. I hope you had fun. Ashy Boo 74 with 50 bits says Shane Dawson is a shitty person and extremely problematic, but also he's been spreading extremely harmful conspiracy theories to his child audience. In this video, he talks to his conspiracy theorist brother and just accepts all the batshit conspiracies he tells him. I recommend you start at 2650, and you may want to do 1.25 speed. I also recommend you check out his brother, who's linked in the description. Okay, cool. I actually saw a video criticizing this, so I did want to cover it at some point. Where is his brother? That's his brother's Instagram. Conspiracy channel. Oh, God. Okay, yeah, we'll check these out. Wait, why is this... Okay, apparently it's a conspiracy channel, but he's been doing beats? Maybe he's just now going to start doing conspiracies? Either way, I'll save him and we can see. The other thing is unlisted, but we'll take a look. But yes, I am familiar with Enter the Unfamiliar. We can check out some of his stuff. We haven't covered him a ton. We've covered it a couple times. Artemis said, did I hear about Coach Red Pill? No. What happened? Is he dead? Artemis with 100 bits says, hey Hannah, I just want to say I hate Gina on Tinfoil Tuesdays, purely because she structures every sentence with y'all and always says you all. It causes me pain. I'm sorry. Mr. Whiskers with 100 bits, Net Circ 1987 with 15 months. We're on a hype train, 28% to level 1. Seriously, what happened to Coach Red Pill? Is he dead? Let's take a look. Oh, Jake tweeted about it. Woo! This person says, it is now safe to assume that real Gonzalo Lira, which is Coach Red Pill, has either been abducted by the SBU or killed by Nazi paramilitary units in Kharkov City. Several people from inside the city have messaged me on their iNetworks Fine. I asked Chile MFA to look into this matter, and he is from Chile. Oh boy, that would certainly be interesting, wouldn't it? If that did happen, and it gets confirmed, we will have a stream just with old Coach Red Pill videos as a tribute, air quote. Bardlock Moses, thanks for gifting a tier 1 sub, 91% to level 1 in the hype train. So yeah, I thought one of the things that you can do in terms of finding conspiracy theorists, because people have asked me, how do you find these people? Not as hard as you would think. if it's something that you don't know, because you don't know what you don't know, you can search something like conspiracy theories, biggest conspiracy theories, new conspiracy theories, and you'll wind up finding listicles like this. So they'll talk about different conspiracy theories that you can use as keywords: 9/11 conspiracies, Princess Diana's murder, subliminal advertising, moon landing hoax, etc., etc. Then you can take these keywords, type them into YouTube. This is important if you're looking for crazy conspiracy theorists. You gotta sort the videos by most recent, because otherwise the conspiracy ones get hidden now, which I applaud YouTube for. Or you can head over to BitChute or Rumble or any of those weird right-wing, lightly moderated websites. And from there, you can usually find some good conspiracy stuff. So this is basically what we're going to be doing today, along with checking out stuff you guys send. Yeah, that's about it. Bardlock Moses with 200 bits. Thank you. Oh, I wanted to watch this first, though, because I think this is funny. This is an NFT thing. This person is trying to sell, I'm not kidding, off-chain NFTs. He's selling people NFTs that are not on the blockchain. Check this out.
In 2020, I set up global acting event World Monologue Games in response to the impact COVID was having on the arts. 2 years later, we've just launched a world first embedded within another world first. In short, we're the first acting competition to turn our best ranking performers' work into NFTs, and as far as we can tell, we're the first anyone to sell NFTs without using the blockchain.
Are they NFTs then? Again, this is weird, because I already hate the idea of NFTs. I think they're stupid. I don't think, like, being a thing on the blockchain that says, like, oh, this person has a receipt to this link, I don't think that means anything anyway. But this is even further divorcing the purchase from any sort of tangible reality of a product. It's hilarious. 20% to level 2. Puka the Duka with 200 bits. Mr. Whiskers says 25-second clip, which I'll check out. And Prakagam says, holy grift, Batman.
I called you mean and macho, but TV Guide called you a huge psychotic lizard. What did you think of that?
Those are accusations I haven't totally denied, but it kind of sounds sexual, so I'll roll with it, okay?
Jesus. Dude, Ledoux says, hey, had a long-time YouTube follower, but rarely catch the streams. Do you know if you know about the guy who was building Stonehenge in his backyard by himself? I didn't. That's interesting. Oh, is it in Michigan, too? Or at least he's from Michigan. We can check that out, maybe. Thank you. 25% to level 2 on the hype train. They're not JPEGs. They're YouTube links.
Let me step back. In early 2020, the pandemic was starting to take...
Oh, he's doing the thing where you look just off camera? Okay, cool. Cool. Looks very a fish. Blackwing Hackety says, wouldn't non-blockchain NFTs just be ugly images? In this case, video.
Off around the world, and more countries were announcing lockdowns. It quickly became clear that the arts and entertainment industries were about to get decimated, since both live events and film production wouldn't be possible. I set up World Monologue Games to create a new platform for both actors and audiences, running it as a series of live stream events with a judging panel and viewer voting, sending the best performers into the regional finals and the best of the best to the global finals.
How's that going? I haven't heard of you, so how's that going? How many subscribers? Your YouTube channel has 1.6 thousand subscribers, so that's bad.
The amount of interest was way better than I expected, with ultimately thousands of actors from 80+ countries registering and over 100,000 views across all of our videos in the first year. This was fantastic, as it was providing decent exposure for the actors that even led to a few instances of
Oh, yay, everyone's favorite compensation. Why did I forget the word he just said? Exposure. Mellow Fox 86, thanks for following. I had a brain fart.
Editors being noticed by producers and getting cast in upcoming projects. The thing about World Monologue Games, though, I'm particularly proud of is how it allows people from anywhere to participate as total equals. We've featured actors from over 50 countries in the event, and our global finals have had actors from
28% to level 2 on the hype train. Actually, 83% now that Brockcom gifted 2 tier 1 subs. Thank you very much. 84% with 30 seconds left. Very close to the hype train dying.
The USA, the UK, Australia, and Canada, but also Italy, Austria, Kenya, China,
I'm doing okay. Frustrated I didn't save more money during the year for my taxes, but other than that, I'm good.
Malta, Zimbabwe, Brazil, Pakistan, Syria, and other countries both developed and developing. This isn't just a happy accident, it's the core design of the event. To make something truly inclusive, you have to actually remove the barriers that prevent inclusivity. It's not something you just say you're going to do, it's something you have to design your business to facilitate.
Thanks to the level 1 hype train, everyone.
We did this in a number of ways. We ignored age, race, gender, sexuality, and other aspects of performers' identities, beliefs, and backgrounds so that these things weren't an advantage or a disadvantage. They're just not factors. Our judging panel is made up of professionals from all over the world with different backgrounds in the creative industry so that the judging outcomes are based on a wide range of viewpoints. We allow actors to perform in any language so non-English speakers aren't disadvantaged by having to compete against people speaking their first.
Okay, talk about the NFTs.
First of all, bear with me while I talk about NFTs and the reasons we don't want to use the blockchain. It's important context in understanding why it is I think what we're doing here is kind of cool and has the potential to shake things up in the creative industries. Okay, so NFTs or non-fungible tokens are a relatively new concept. Put simply, an NFT is a mechanism to prove the ownership of a digital asset. If you buy an NFT, you own it, even though most of the time other people can download it, distribute it, upload it somewhere, use it as their avatar, etc.
Then in what sense do you own it? Because, like, let me put it this way. I own this phone. I get to decide who gets to use this phone. I can use it whenever I want. I can sell it to someone. I can destroy it with no consequences because it's mine. This is my property. I can do what I want with it within the bounds of the law, of course, as long as I'm not using it to commit illegal activity, but that wouldn't be about the phone. That would be about breaking whatever law I'm breaking while using the phone. It's still my phone, right? I can do whatever I want to it, okay? That's not how NFTs work. You don't own them. Other people have the right to use them because they can right-click them, and you can't call the police on them. If someone steals my phone, I could call the police and file a report. They probably won't do anything because the police are useless in matters such as larceny, but nonetheless, it would be illegal for someone to take this from me. If I right-click your NFT, that's not illegal.
But only the person who bought it can claim to be the owner.
I paid $10,000 for the right to say I owned this ugly picture and no one else takes it seriously, but I still can say it.
NFTs are tied to the blockchain and cryptocurrency. A blockchain is a type of database which, to be reductionist, cannot be modified only.
Don't I have a payment plan? I do. So technically, I think Verizon owns this currently. It was just an example. I could have used a shovel. I could use this bottle of water as an example. It was just something close as an example.
Added to and is hosted by a number of users with exact copies, so it's extremely difficult to hack. The data on it is also publicly available to everyone always, and this is by design. Cryptocurrency isn't really a currency, but a highly volatile, speculative pseudocurrency that can only really be used on the blockchain itself and not in the real world in any meaningful way. When you buy an NFT, you have to buy it through a marketplace that sits on a blockchain, and you have to pay for it with cryptocurrency.
I sound like I'm channeling Jenna from 30 Rock. Don't bother me, I'm talking to the camera.
Currency that you access through your digital wallet. Putting an NFT on sale involves paying gas fees to mint it onto the chain, or you can mint on demand at the point of sale, where you can choose to pay.
Cynthia Citrus, thanks for following.
The blockchain world, or Web3, has a few problems. The whole environment is absolutely...
Look, I don't disagree. I hate NFTs, I hate crypto, and I'm glad you're citing, like, Dan Olson's great documentary on crypto and NFTs, which is great. You should check it out. But you're still trying to sell, or at least ride the clout of NFTs in order to sell something? Sell something? So, like, shut up.
Absolutely rife with scammers and hackers, with 85
What am I doing with calipers? What if some sort of bones come at me and I need to measure them? I need to measure the girth of the bones. I'm a Okay, nope.
5 million
I'm losing focus.
dollars being lost or stolen in the 30 days prior to the filming of this video. The problem is, there's no recourse if you lose an expensive NFT to a scam or a mistake, as a transaction that succeeds cannot be reversed even if it's known to be a scam. So long as it follows the technical rule of the blockchain, once it's done, it's done.
Calibrated
There's no
Spectre,
consumer
thanks for
protection,
following.
no regulation, no compensation. No phone call from the bank saying, do you really want to sell this for 100,000th of its value? It's speculative and fluctuates.
Okay, I want to get to the conspiracy theories. I'm saving this for crypto stuff, and I'll look at in my own time to make sure, because he's going on longer than I thought he was going to. Let me just save this to the crypto playlist, and we can start looking for conspiracy theorists. Let's see, someone sent me something so far. Okay, this is a website or some sort of Facebook blog. Hannah only accepts girthy bones. It's true. It's very true. Okay. So this is some kind of blog that looks like it came right out of 1998. It's got the static background with the scrolling foreground. I can respect that. Someone write this in HTML. Okay, anyway, this is some sort of blog that we can take a look at. Hydrate. The Sodomite Gateway. Stairway to Heaven. The pineal gland looks like a pine cone. Okay. And is the size of a small gemstone. Jasper. Is it only the size of specifically Jasper? The pineal gland is known as the throne of God. Around the throne of God, pineal gland, are 24 cranial nerves that help the pineal function to its full capacity. This is mentioned as the 24 elders in Revelation. The pineal gland is the main endocrine gland of the body that rests in the middle of the brain between the two cerebral hemispheres, which is mentioned in Genesis as the cherubims that guard the tree of life. The tree of life is your spinal column. It's also known as the stairway to heaven, or in the occult as Jacob's ladder. Your spinal column has 33 vertebrae, as in the 33 degrees in masonry. There are also 33 spinal nerves, as in Jesus died at the age of 33. When we add 33 plus 33, it equals 66. Hence, there are 66 books in the Bible. Woo! Are there 66? How many books are in the Bible? There are 66 books. That's interesting. The Council of Nicaea dropped the ball on that one. Hence, indeed. So let's see. This is interesting. Conspiracy gobbledygook. They're drawing connections where there aren't really any and looking at coincidences, and especially the number 33, so we're on the right track here. Procagam says in the Protestant Bible. That's true. That's true. The Catholic Bible has more. The Sodomite Gateway. Introduction. Introduction Plus. It's like a streaming service. Tuesday, February 7th, 2012. Ooh, this is old. This is a decade old. Most of the world is in a trance-like state under an antichrist delusion. Hey, by the way, here is a tip for writing in HTML in case you find yourself in 1997 for some reason. Make sure that your text, if you scroll up on something like this, isn't obscured by something that makes it hard to read, or if you're going to do that, put like a white border around your text, or just don't do this. That'd be great too. Unicorn Fart SD, thank you for following. H-Baird says, there's a woman who knows all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a geosites domain. All right, we're going to be here for 12 more minutes. Here we go. Most of the world is in a trance-like state under an antichrist delusion. Does this person think Obama was the Antichrist? Because a lot of whack jobs thought Obama was the Antichrist. Which is in no small part due to the saturation of our environment with symbolic emblems and artifacts through which magical spells are cast. They believe in magic. That's a good one. The physical evidence of sodomy is pictured in these symbols. The physical evidence of sodomy. I could show you some physical evidence of sodomy, but I don't think it's going to be something this person is into. What do they think sodomy is, colloquially speaking? Oh, it's fine. I can read it. The physical evidence of sodomy is pictured in these symbols testifies of a real gateway to supernaturalism, one that is directly linked to fallen angelic beings, gods of the ancient past, present, and future. Here in this lengthy series of posts are answers to questions you may not have wanted to ask but should have, and as you join Freemasonry initially, they'll tell you that their G in the square and compass means God, but then as you go up through the levels, they'll tell you, oh, this stands for gnosis, knowledge. But then, when you get higher up, it stands for the generative principle, which means... Okay, I wasn't expecting this. The, quote, generative principle, which means buggering little boys, and I'm not saying that on my own authority. Blackwing Hecate with 50 bits says, physical evidence of sodomy. Did you mean... I'm not gonna read that. That's too much even by my standards. I have low standards, and even I'm not gonna read that one. I spoke with the highest-ranking Freemason to defect to Christianity, Jim Shaw. I'm assuming he's a grifter. And, why did they put and, in their speech? They think they're Mark Twain? Are they trying to write, like... they're trying to write phonetically, or, like, with their, what's the word I'm thinking of? I'm blanking a lot today. What you're reading is legit talk to conspiracy theorist Christians, made your parents crazier? Oof, sorry. Anyway, he was a 33rd degree Freemason, and I had a number of conversations over the phone with him about Freemasonry. I got it from the horse's mouth. Don't know why the horse's mouth is in quotes. I know it's an idiom without the quotes. Audio file, podcast, radio, live show with an interview. Okay, so there's even a link to some sort of audio. If the link is still live. Oh, no. Oh, no, there it is. Video's unavailable? That's a shame. Oh, no! Oh, God! What in the absolute heck is wrong with this person? Oh, no. Okay. Alright. Interesting. Let me save this under conspiracy. Holy crap, it's like 100 parts. Oh my god, look at this. Okay, yeah. Okay, this person is getting saved. Reptilian conspiracy. Okay, so this person's a thing that's being leaked. Check this out. Thunder Wizard. Oh, is this gonna be just a text?
Human.
No, okay, he talks, cool. Exposing the Reptilian conspiracy. Always nice to hear about human theories on the existence of me and my people.
This is Michael William Denny of ThunderShamanism.com, and so today I want to talk to you about a very important concept concerning your divine human identity. So, have you heard this before? There's people out there saying that Kundalini means...
There's so many people saying, all these lizard folk, they've taken Air Force One from me. Joe Biden, he has a lizard neck, okay? I want that lizard neck. It is plump, and it is full, and I need it.
Means serpent power. Therefore, Kundalini is used by the reptilian agenda, the reptilian conspiracy, to possess you, not just on a mental level, but on a spiritual level. That Kundalini is used by the reptilians to possess your soul and to damn you to hell. Okay? You've heard something like this before, I'm sure. So I'm responding to this because on my previous video, I was asking the question, is David Icke a reptilian? And somebody had commented. And
for those who don't know, David Icke is the guy who popularized the modern day, like, modern in the sense that this was in like the late 80s, early 90s. He popularized the modern conspiracy theory of reptilian beings. There had been previous conspiracies about sort of like underground dwelling lizard folk or other things like that, but the modern version of like people in power are secretly lizards subverting the course of human history, that's David Icke. He wrote books to that effect. A lot of people accuse him of being anti-Semitic and using the reptilian thing as a dog whistle for anti-Semitic beliefs, which I think is probably on the right track. There's a good reason that reptilian talk is usually affiliated with a lot of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. But it's just funny to me that he's accusing David Icke, the progenitor of the modern reptilian conspiracy theory, of being a reptilian. Of course.
And had asked, well, Kundalini means serpent power, so how can you use Kundalini to awaken yourself? And so that was an excellent question, and I responded to that under the comments. You can read that there, but I'll talk about it here too. That was an excellent question because this is a misunderstanding, not just in these circles, but in New Age circles and in yogic circles and meditation. I mean, you can go to just about any meditation class or yoga class, and they'll say that Kundalini means serpent power, or they'll say Kundalini is the serpent power. Well, that's not accurate.
Blackwing Hecate says Kundalini with a link. What is this? It's a song. Can't play a song. The copyright fairies will come and hurt me in my sleep if I play a song I don't own.
Kundalini is a word from Sanskrit. Sanskrit is a divinely empowered language. This is why the yogis chant in Sanskrit. The Vedas.
Oh, like the language of the Dovahkiin.
Were written. They were transmitted.
Foos, Ro, dumbass.
By the celestial masters to our ancient Indo-European ancestors to give them power to overcome the reptilian agenda. And in Sanskrit...
Sir, what's the reptilian agenda? So this guy seems interesting. He's a little dry, but the content of what he's saying is interesting enough that I think he'd be worth a shot checking out on an actual Tinfoil Tuesday. That song doesn't get copyrighted. I'm gonna be safe anyway. Everything I've been uploading to YouTube, even somewhat recently, I've had to like go through a whole bunch of hoops to like get copyrighted stuff. I like the new setup for the stream, which is this, where it's the bigger screen, but I might have to return to putting stuff in little boxes because, holy crap, does stuff get demonetized way, way more when stuff isn't in the little box. I don't know why. I don't know what about YouTube's algorithm is doing it, but it's affecting my YouTube monetization, so I might have to do some tests and do a stream where it goes back to the box to see if it helps again. No More Status Quo with 5 months says, hello there, I can't really handle the cringe stream, so here's some money for the conspiracies. Oh, thank you very much. How to defeat the reptilian conspiracy. Reptilians living in underground cities.
So reptilian creatures living underground, coming up.
Thanks, Baha. I'll check out that link in a little bit.
Stealing children and feeding off.
I love you.
This is one of the main tenets of the reptilian conspiracy. Now, I am here to tell you from a shamanic perspective, the reptilian conspiracy is very real. But the information that you're getting from some of the people like David Icke and others is incomplete because they don't understand how to interpret shamanic truths. I'm here to spell out exactly what this is for you, how it affects you, and what you can do to protect yourself from it. So before I get in,
Okay. At a cursory glance of 2 videos, I think he sounds interesting. I don't know if all his material's gonna be worthy, but I think I can pick out some kernels of corn in the shit that is the conspiracy channel, you know? And that's what you're looking for. Alright. Let's keep going here, see if there's any more links. Oh boy, what in the hell is that? What is that? Is that alien genitalia? God, that alien has girth. Jesus Christ. Two kinds of acts are in the news with increasing frequency: cannibalism and sodomy. I don't know the stats on that. This is behavior characteristic of the ancient gods and those who worship them. When you've heard of such perverse and hellish activity, you may have found yourself wondering where it came from. Was there a rash of cannibalistic incidents in 2012 that I was not aware of? Because this is February 2012. Is this literally... Remember when that homeless guy ate someone's face and they said it was because he was on bath salts? Are bath salts still a thing? Are people eating faces out there? Anyway, it's the nature of the beast, literally, because it's the family character of hybrid beasts to fulfill their lusts in such ways. Sodom, a city famously destroyed in fire and brimstone judgment, was a Canaanite city, a region populated by giant cannibals. I have not heard that one before. Sodomites are proliferating, and today's news bears witness. Recognizing the trend is helpful, but understanding why, what's being accomplished, is more helpful still. Then, when you see it embedded in the familiar imagery of our culture, it may speak volumes about the reality of our situation. Excuse me, I had to take a drink. My mouth gets so smacky, so quick. Ooh, my larynx just died for a second. Did you hear that? Because of the nature of the subject, there's no real delicate way to handle it without being unnecessarily crude, on the one hand, or avoiding the reality of the situation, on the other. I'm going to share what the Lord is impressing upon me. Oh, good. They hear the Lord speak to them. That's always a good sign. I've addressed these topics not long ago while writing about Cain's paternity. I'll assume you're already very familiar with that work and what's presented as a foundation for this one. Sodomy with mankind was first practiced in the Garden of Eden, introduced by the serpent tree. Eve hands fruit to Adam. Here, honey, try this. You should stick something in my asshole. Sidosaurus says, just got back from Zombie Jesus Day celebrations at my grandparents' house. She was telling us about this comedian she watched on Facebook, and apparently it was about classical dirty talk, as in, please, sir, may I have some more... rooster. And just hearing that out of an 82-year-old's mouth was ridiculous. Also, hi. Hello. How you doing? Introduced by the serpent of the tree. Of this, I have no doubt, because it was revealed to me by the Lord himself, quite memorably, the root of cannibalism, parentheses, fellatio, was also practiced in that place and time, with the curses subsequently pronounced upon the serpent and the man declaring in an esoteric manner how cannibalism would endure through the end of the age. So according to this person, fellatio is cannibalism. I guess call me Hannibal Lecter. Cool. Actual Boomer, thanks for converting your Prime Gaming sub to a Tier 1 sub. Wait, there's a troll or conspiracy theorist in chat? Where? What's their name? Is it the person I was talking to on Twitter earlier? I genuinely don't know. Let me know. What cannibalism and sodomy do for the practitioners of the left-hand patch relates to worship. Anyway, this is how their gods are worshipped. It brings them near to their demon angel gods and makes them like gods they worship, bringing to themselves power, illumination, and gnosis. When the serpent told Eve, "Ye shall be as gods," it was not entirely a lie, despite what you may have been taught. I mean, it was true in the sense that at least the translations I've read say, "You shall be as gods, knowing good from evil." It was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It literally gives them moral agency and lets them understand the difference between right and wrong. Is fellatio vegan? Yes. Who do you fellatio? I meant oral in general. Also a joke. What was promised was not, however, a thing to be desired by anyone who knows the love of the Lord God who created us. It may be said that sodomy is a backdoor to knowledge, to the gnosis, forbidden for our own good. There's a pun there intended, and this is the kind of perception engagement I encourage. Okay, this person's great. Yeah, I'm adding this person to conspiracy. Every paragraph has something good, so... Perhaps we need a cunning linguist? I am a cunning linguist, okay? I'm the best cunning linguist of all time, okay? Anyway, saved. This is the Thunder Wizard person. Enter the Unfamiliar. I've covered him a couple times. I guess I don't know. He hasn't posted in a long time, and I wonder why.
Nanotechnology is here. We are entering in.
Oh yeah, I forgot. This guy puts a really annoying filter on a lot of his videos so it's like old-timey, but it just makes it sound super tinny and obnoxious.
Of this sort of.
Like, I get it. I get the effect he's going for, but in practice, it just is really annoying to listen to. So, not watching those ones. Is Halloween Kills going woke? Oh god, he does the get woke, go broke grift too.
Frightening villain of Michael Myers, the lack of any kind of emotion. It's scary, and it's different than Freddy. Freddy's great, you know, he's got the sense of humor, original kind of kills. Jason is just like over the top and you know, can be of course scary in his own. But Michael Myers, there's some kind of real threat there. I feel like where Jason and Freddy are a little more imaginative and you know, not as real world, I guess.
Okay, what else? Oh, this is the YouTube guy's brother?
Mind travelers, and welcome to this edition of Mind Traveling. Today, our guest is the Hyphenate. Thanks for being here, the Hyphenate.
Yo, what's poppin'? Thanks for having me on here, man. I appreciate it.
No doubt, man. So one of the biggest reasons I wanted you on today's show is because of your open-mindedness. You're very unbiased. You don't necessarily subscribe to any kind of religious belief systems, so you're able to go pretty deep in conversations and
that's the only kind of bias that exists, clearly.
Explore them and get a little weirder than most, man. I got to be honest. We've had some pretty outrageous conversations, in my opinion. Right?
Yeah, man. I mean, the big thing for me is that I know nothing. So, with that being said, I'm open
Mellow Fox, what drugs are you on, and can I have some?
to any ideas, and if it makes some type of sense, man, it could be.
You think it's a bot? It could be. If they don't start making sense in like the next 2 minutes, I'm banning them just because it's distracting.
Factual.
Yeah, so today, the topic we're going to throw your way is the Anunnaki theory. Have you ever heard of the Anunnaki theory?
What the hell is that?
All right. So the Anunnaki theory, the best way to explain it is the beginning of human consciousness and civilization.
Okay, I'm interested.
The theory goes as such.
I'll get a strike, read the contract. Hold on. I speak crazy person. Sir, I do not, as a woman, a person, human being, I do not consent to contract with you.
There's a 10th planet in our solar system called Nibiru.
Okay.
Nibiru, first of all. Second of all, no. There used to be hypotheses that there was a 10th planet in the solar system. This was, of course, when Pluto was still a planet. And it had something to do with a misunderstanding of some gravitational thing going on in the mechanics of our solar system. But later we understood more about the orbital mechanics and what was causing stuff to function the way it was. So they no longer needed a 10th planet in order to explain what we see in the orbital mechanics of our solar system.
Okay, which is inhabited by the Anunnaki species. They're somewhat like humans, but they're much more evolved intellectually. They're conscious. They're much larger than us, and their technology is far beyond anything we can imagine, right?
Okay.
So about 432,000 years ago, the Anunnaki started coming to the Earth because they
And as a judge, you're fucked. True.
needed gold. The reason they needed
All right, Mellow Fox, if in the next 2 messages you don't say anything coherent, I'm just banning you. So let's give it a shot. Do your best, okay? Say a coherent sentence that makes sense in the context of what is happening right now.
gold is because their atmosphere was deteriorating, and they had to put gold particles into their atmosphere to deflect rays to keep the climate habitable for them, to keep it at
Oh, this is stupid.
the ideal climate to make sure they could survive.
So yeah, so their gold was for survival.
It still is a hypothesis? Okay. I guess I didn't know that. I thought it had been debunked at this point.
Survival, not for jewelry.
They were mining gold strictly out of necessity. They needed this so their species could
You're in the cult of Moloch and are feeding people false information. True.
survive on their
And see, that at least kind of made sense. I understood that one. It wasn't true, but I understood it. So you're on the right track.
planet. Okay, so they brought with them to mine this gold.
Did I... Okay, I'm entertained by Mellow Fox so far. Did I lose my V card when I was 14 to a prostitute? I did not. Fun fact. I did not, Mellow Fox. You're very... Now I'm... You had my interest. Now you have my attention. Why do you believe that I am in the cult of Moloch? And also, who is Moloch? I understand that that's a biblical reference, but I am not associated with any cult.
Another
He's the eater of children. Oh, I deplore children. Much too stringy.
species that was extraterrestrial called the Agigis. The Agigis was not
You'll send a link? I don't think I feel comfortable clicking on any links you send me, no offense.
highly advanced. They were strictly a slave race.
Gotcha.
Okay, but over time, after about 200,000 years, this slave race got a little bit more intelligent, a little bit more aware, and they thought that they could overthrow the Anunnaki.
This is just the plot of Assassin's Creed. This is like the meta plot of the overarching series of Assassin's Creed.
And essentially rule this planet.
So the slave race that came from the
That wasn't a lie about the baby part and what you disliked. I deplore babies, I'll have you know.
the Anunnaki.
Bro- The person in chat accused me of eating babies.
No, we haven't done that in 2 years.
Right? Brocacom says, eater of children. Well, we were just talking about fellatio. Oh, thank you.
I love you.
Tell her I'm peaches and cream. Does that mean anything to you?
I have no idea.
I assume not.
Brought over to work for the Anunnaki.
Hi, Father.
Says, I'm done with this. Now I'm gonna revolt.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Okay, so they just abolished them and exiled.
It's a big joke in the I'm so interested in this person in the chat.
I know.
I shouldn't be, but I am. I love her.
them from the planet at that point. They weren't having none of that. They were much superior beings. The Anunnaki were to the Agigis, so they were gone.
Damn.
Right? They tried to rebel. That's a wrap.
Like genocide.
That's it.
Have I heard what a rusty adventure is? I haven't. All right, I'll say this is saved. I think that's fine.
Oh, come here, Olive.
Man lifts 20 blocks by hand. What is this? Oh, this is the Michigan guy who was doing the Stonehenge thing.
Nobody knows how they did it. How they moved and stood these massive stones. It's a scientific mystery. This man swears he's cracked. He's building his own Stonehenge in his Flint, Michigan backyard to prove it.
Camera.
This is in Flint, Michigan.
Wally Wallington's not a scientist, but he knows a thing or two about moving rocks.
That's a 300-pound block. This is a 1,600-pound block. Not
If anyone doesn't know, that's where I'm from. I was born and raised.
He's a
in Flint,
retired
Michigan.
construction worker whose passion is moving heavy items. His feats always draw a crowd, mostly family.
I thought he was crazy. Who cares about moving blocks around? But then when you look at the magnitude of the weights that he's moving around, it is really impressive, and he's not using any equipment or anything.
In playing with blocks, Wally thinks he's discovered how Stonehenge was moved.
This is my first Stonehenge arch I permanently put in place. It's 3 blocks, they weigh over a ton each.
It's all based on a very simple technique.
I found a simple explanation for this, to move a block about the weight of a minivan, would be to place a stone underneath it. And once I balance on it, I can spin it. Of course, with that spin, you've seen I didn't go anywhere. But I got 2 handles on my lever, and I could place another stone on this side. Now, every time I spin a half rotation on each stone, I move the block horizontally, the distance between the stones.
See, this is why I find it interesting when, like, weirdo conspiracy theorists are like, oh, aliens had to help with Stonehenge or with the pyramids, because how else would they have done it? This random guy in his backyard figured this random shit out. You don't think thousands upon thousands upon thousands of laborers and, like, people working to build structures in the past wouldn't have been able to figure this out when it was a necessity for them to build things? Like, I don't know. Human ingenuity. It's interesting.
On output, I could move a 1-ton block 300 feet per hour.
Using this technique, he's moved everything.
Experimental archaeology is rad as hell. Is that what it's called?
From 1-ton blocks to buildings.
He moved up to a pole barn at one point, a 30 by 40 pole barn that he moved 300 feet for me, and it was more or less, you know, what else can we move? And he looked at me and says, hey, can we move your barn? And I said, sure, let's, you know. Next thing you know, it was 300 feet in the other
Mellow Fox, how do you feel about the number 33?
direction onto another
A lot of conspiracy theorists don't like the number 33.
piece of property.
It can move barns, and Wally's betting it moves Stonehenge's 25-ton rocks. But raising these giants is a whole different puzzle.
This is 19,200 pounds. Yeah, it's 128 cubic feet of concrete.
Today, Wally hopes to solve it. He'll put one of his theories to the test and try to stand this 19,200-pound block by himself.
I've tried to do this without any mechanical machinery at all. I've used mostly sticks and stones for my equipment. No pulleys, no hoist, no metal levers. Just try to use gravity, too, I believe is my favorite tool. Whoop.
The first goal is getting this block 3 feet off the ground.
Mellow Fox, have you seen a doctor recently? Like, not a joke. Genuine question. You okay?
In order to move it up to this point, I just rock the block back and forth, adding weight to that end, and that opens a gap on this side.
Are you fine? I would... Please go see a doctor, seriously. I know I'm a sarcastic shit, but... see a doctor. I think you need to talk to someone.
And just slide a board in. Then I add the weight to that end. There she goes. And slide.
Yeah, we can do a ban. I had my fun, and now I feel bad. Alright, please get help. I think you have schizophrenia.
Slide a board in on this end.
This shoring box acts like a jack, slowly raising the block. It's 3 feet off the ground, but tomorrow is the big experiment, standing it up. The grandkids have taken the day off school, and the cameras are rolling.
Hey, you guys watch Papa. He's going to do something wild.
They're here to watch Granddad lift a block the weight of 2 bulldozers.
It's ready.
Here's how it's supposed to work.
The first thing I'm going to do here is release this temporary shoring I have set and come over here, release some of my counterweights, and that's going to put the entire weight of the block on this rope. So then I'm going to release the rope, come back in, and the rope's going to be my brake. I'm going to guide it into the pit. The easiest way I can explain this is this is just a big teeter-totter, and I got the big kid on that end, and he's going to go down, and this end's going up.
He believes in his technique, but he's had some setbacks in the past.
One day I got thrown over top of a block, and a couple times I had the blocks roll off the top and almost land on my feet. One time I knocked myself out cold on the concrete, and so it's been challenging. Okay. Buddy, ready? Yes! All right. Now just start spraying the sand. The sand will wash out and the block will start coming down.
Once the sand is washed from the pit, the block's own weight slowly stands it up.
That's
okay,
cool.
Finally, she's between the lines, guys. Looks good.
He did it.
It's very interesting. Humans are capable of very, very cool things. This channel looks like it has some conspiracy stuff. Not necessarily all of it, but like there's stuff about cryptids. So. All right. That guy was an alien. Yeah, that is the simplest explanation, isn't it? Okay, let's see. Let's try Rumble. Moon landing. America's frontline doctor exposes moon landing frauds and unveils new detox survey. America's frontline doctors are a organization that are anti-vaccine. They're shitty.
His word. In God I have put my trust, and I will not be afraid.
Prayer, O Lord,
Hydrate.
and let my cry come to you. Do not hide your face from me in the day.
For the Lord is the great God, and the great King above all.
Rise up, O judge of the earth, render punishment to the proud. Lord, how long will the wicked, how long will the wicked triumph?
Righteousness and justice are the foundation of his.
I hate the work of those who fall. My mouth I'll make known your faithfulness to all generations. For I have said, mercy shall be built up forever. Your faithfulness you shall establish.
On an instrument of 10 strings, on the lute and on the harp, with harmony sound. For you, O Lord.
Put it in there. You get one email from us a day. That's all the articles from me, Bradley, and our contributors. And then also, if you want to help donate and support the Sons of Liberty, not just on the internet, not just on radio, but out among the people, pushing forward our Christian and constitutional heritage, which many people are ignorant of. They're ignorant of our history, and this is part of that ignorance is why we're being trampled upon. We need to learn the old paths, not move into a new world order, as the Bible says. So if you want to help support us in that, there's a donate button there. And click on it, make a one-time donation, or partner with us as a son or daughter of liberty. These are our monthly partners. And we're also, our store is available, top of the page there. I don't have with me the specific.
It says Sons of Liberty. Aren't they a DC Comics fascist group? I have no idea.
Thing that we are putting, on special this week. But
25 or 30.
This thing that you got in front of the television, that makes you a little older than me that you actually watched it, because I was only born months before this. So I remember sitting in front of the old TV, the one where you got like 3 or 4 channels, but they had like 20 something on the little knob that you turned.
How much of conspiracy theorist discourse is just reminiscing about things that were a thing 40 or 50 years ago? Remember how back in the old days things were different and now we're old and everything is confusing? So I'm going to go on the internet and talk to people about how I think JFK was an alien who was tiny and lived in his head, and he wasn't shot in the head, he just jumped out of his human bodysuit real quick out of his head.
And usually the television was encased like a piece of furniture. It was encased in wood and stuff like this. And I remember sitting those old cassette recorders. Is that what you had? I had like the 5 buttons across the front. And
That's exactly what I had.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I used to record television shows like that too. So it kind of brings back a memory there. But it's interesting to me that all of us, Bart, yourself, me, and I'm sure other people who are listening, same kind of thing. We're fascinated by this, and I think probably there were other things that stoked stuff at the time and later. Star Trek was on. You got Twilight Zone stuff. You've had War of the Worlds, years before on radio and all this other stuff, and it kind of puts in our minds these things.
Wanted to talk to me about the shape of the Earth? I asked on Twitter earlier. I did. Did you want to do that right now? Because we can. That's fine. Or we could do it on Tuesday, where I do my normal Tinfoil Tuesday stuff. Whatever. Chat, I've been talking briefly to a flat earther on Twitter. And, offered to have them come on. Do you want to do that now? We can do it now. That's fine. And I can do this research on my own time. That's not a big deal if you're good now. Or we could do it Tuesday. Whatever. Let me know. Hannah about to get owned. True. Let me know.
Things.
Oh, there was a raid. Expired Popsicle. Thanks for the raid. Welcome, raiders. You vote now? Well, it depends on what Flat Earth Sub-Genius says. I await a response, and we could communicate like on Discord or Zoom, whatever's easier for you. You could do it now. Tuesday works better. Excellent. You can Twitter DM me, and we'll set it up for Tuesday then. I usually do it at like between 5 and 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern, so it just depends. But if something else works for you, let me know and we'll set it up for Tuesday. Just DM me on Twitter. I think we both follow each other. So Tuesday, it looks like we'll probably have a discussion with the Flat Earther, and that'll be interesting. Anyway, back to the video.
As though they're a reality. And I think that helps when they put forth a lie that we're just trusting them for. It helps it to go down better and helps it to solidify itself in our thinking.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But you got lots of stuff today. You got lots of stuff because I left most of the stuff in the article that we had.
Lighting and that kind of thing. The interesting thing about this is folks believe that there were thousands of people working on Apollo, and
typical moon landing hoax stuff. They're pretty devoid of charisma, though, so let's see if we can find someone else. I like moon landing hoax videos, but they're usually very dry. That's a weird sounding bird.
We're on internal power with the launch vehicle at this time. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All
Well, this dialed up to 1,000 real quick, didn't it?
engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Contact light. Okay, engine stop. Command override off. Engine arm off. 13 is in. We copy you down, Eagle. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
It says the Apollo moon footage is all fake. It's not. I think they were still using blue screens in the 60s. I don't know if they were using green. Either way, doesn't matter. They weren't on a set. They were on the moon. But If they were using green screens, they probably would have been blue screens. Are they going to talk at all, or is this just video? I hate conspiracy videos like that. Talk, or don't make a video. It's copyrighted music. Shit. I should have assumed. I'll cut it out. Always annoying. That's also copyrighted. This person likes copyrighted music. How about this one? 20 proofs NASA faked the moon landings.
Between 1969 to 1972.
Oh, we already covered this guy. This is, who? I forget the name, but this is someone we cover. I recognize the voice.
NASA, the American National Aeronautics and Space Administration, allegedly flew 6 successful manned missions to the moon, where they did everything from playing golf to speeding around in a dune buggy to receiving a live phone call
Eric
from
Dubé,
President
thank
Nixon. In reality, when examined in depth with a critical eye, however, these staged events are found to be nothing but a monumental hoax perpetrated on a gullible and unsuspecting public. 1. To begin with, the moon itself is simply a luminary.
We're not playing bingo, but that would be a holographic moon sky.
Non-physical light in the sky, and not a spherical terra firma planetoid as maintained by NASA and modern astronomy.
We all know it's made of cheese, Eric. Neener is Meaner, thanks for 9 months, says, our sub-baby is here at last. I hope the labor wasn't too hard on you. This sub-baby's name is going to be Werner von Braun. It's an unfortunate name. That kid's gonna get bullied, but, you know, these things are out of our hands.
On clear days, you can see for yourself, during a waxing or waning cycle, the blue sky through the moon.
Those are craters on the moon, Eric. Those are the moon's craters. They're a different color than the rest of it.
On clear nights, during a waxing or waning cycle, it is possible to see stars directly through the surface of the moon.
You're probably looking at a satellite that's in front of the moon. Like, not close to it, but you're probably looking at one that's closer to you than it is the moon.
And during each new moon, the moon completely disappears from view and remains invisible for that 1 day per month.
Yeah, we understand how that works. What? That's not that's not a mysterious phenomena.
Even members of the Royal Astronomical Society have time and again recorded their confusion at being able to see stars directly through the moon. For example, Sir James South of the Royal Observatory in Kensington wrote that, quote, "On my first looking into the telescope, a star of about the 7th magnitude was some minutes of a degree distant from the moon's dark limb. I saw that its occultation by the moon was inevitable, but the star, instead of disappearing the moment the moon's edge came in contact with it, apparently glided on the moon's dark face, as if it had been seen through a transparent moon, or as if a star were between me and the moon.
I definitely need to see the source on that one.
I have seen a similar apparent...
Can we play the Von Braun song? Quickly, sure. Yeah, I'm guessing he's quoting something from a very long time ago based on the way that it's written, but I'm not sure. I'd need to look at it. For those who don't know, Werner von Braun was a ex-Nazi scientist who, through Operation Paperclip, came to the U.S. and was one of the founding members of NASA.
Gather round while I sing you of Werner von Braun, a man whose allegiance is ruled by expedience. Call him a Nazi, he won't even frown. Nazi schmazi, says Werner von Braun. Don't say that he's hypocritical, say rather that he's apolitical. Once the rockets are up, who cares where they come down? That's not my department, says Werner von Braun. Some have harsh words for this man of renown, but some think our attitude should be one of gratitude, like the widows and cripples in old London town, who owe their large pensions to Werner von Braun. You too may be a big hero once you've learned to count backwards to 0. In German or English, I know how to count down. And I'm learning Chinese, says Werner von Braun.
Hydrate, will do. That's why I always find it funny when, like, conspiracy theorists will make videos about NASA and be like, did you know NASA was founded partially by ex-Nazi scientists? And I'll be like, that isn't hidden information. That was public information, like, in the 50s. Like, what? Like, that was not some big secret. People knew about that. Citosaurus says it was probably either an optical illusion or a smudge on the lens. Yeah, I'd have to see the source and when it was from to get a better wrap around of, like, what might be happening there.
Several times. The cause of this phenomenon is involved in impenetrable mystery. A star occulting a crescent moon has long been a popular
I'll
symbol.
save this. I know we've looked at him before, but I don't think I've seen that video on his channel, so maybe it got taken off YouTube for some reason. Now it resides on Rumble. Cool. 20 organized proofs of the fake moon landing. I do like organization. Not in my life, but, you know, when I'm criticizing conspiracy theories, it's helpful. Marcus Drake says apparently the last public statement Tom Lenner made was when a reporter asks him who he was voting for in 2008. He slammed the door in their face and said, "Tell them I'm voting for Obama, now leave me alone."
Between 1969
oh, it's
to
him again.
1972,
okay.
NASA, the American National
Wait, is this the same video? Is this the same video under a different name? By the same person? That's weird. They posted the same video 3 days apart with different titles. Odd. How about this one? Ooh, my voice is, like, not doing well today. Can you guys keep hearing it's breaking? Oh.
Between 1969
Is this the same video again? That's posted by a different person. Let's look by most recent. Earth. Glad you could make it. And thanks for the follow. You blame the rock spiders. Oh god, is this gonna be racist? About Chinese astronauts landing from
Challenge the
being
past.
on the Chinese space station?
Challenge accepted. Purdue University.
Hold on, I gotta turn my ad block back on. I'm so sick of seeing
Like
ads on Rumble.
Subscribe and click the bell icon to get new video updates. Chinese astronauts land in...
There was a show that took all the fake moon landing nuts and proved them all wrong. Was it Conspiracy Road Trip? Because I've seen that show and it's very good.
Gobi Desert after 6 months in space. 3 Chinese astronauts returned to Earth on Saturday after 6 months aboard their country's newest orbital station in the longest crewed mission to date for China's ambitious space program. The Shenzhou 13 space capsule landed in the Gobi Desert in the northern region of Inner Mongolia, shown live on state TV. During the mission, astronaut Wang Yaping carried out the first spacewalk by a Chinese woman. Wang and crewmates Zhai Jigang and Yi Guangfu beamed back physics lessons for high school students. File in this photo released by Xinhua News Agency, screen image captured at Beijing Aerospace Control Center in Beijing, China on October 16, 2021, shows 3 Chinese astronauts, from left, Yi Guangfu, Zhai Jigang and Wang Yaping waving after entering the space station core module Tianhe. 3 Chinese astronauts call for completing construction this year.
Yeah, it just sounds like dry news something. Can I do a cryptid video? I can try and find something.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a blessed day. Mine's going really good. Hey, I've had a lot of people ask about Mr. Brody lately, and Mr. Brody's doing fine. And I have a problem. The lady next door, she has a Great Dane that's the size of a horse, and then she has a little yapper. And normally when I like to film out my backyard, especially when all the plants and the flowers look really nice, but that little yapper just will not shut up. And whenever they're out there, Brody, of course, he wants to go over to the fence and fence fight. And then I try to bring him out here and put him on his leash when I'm going to film in the garage, because he likes to go over there and hide in the bushes and wait on the UPS guy. But I got so many squirrels in this tree across the street, whenever he sees a squirrel, he just goes off and starts barking and wants to go eat it. So I'll have to figure out how to get him in here when it's quiet. But listen, today I wanted to talk to you about lies, lies, and more lies. Lies, lies, and lies. People, we live in a world of lies. Every single thing about our world is one great big lie. You know, I was born in 1953, and the first biggest, most massive news story in my life was the assassination of President John Kennedy.
Was it? Not 9/11? Civil rights movement? Literally anything else that happened in the last 7 decades.
And they came out with what was called the Warren Report. And that was a fabrication, nothing but lies. It was a government narrative.
Like I said, there was a tiny alien that was JFK that lived in the human suit. It decided it was time to leave very suddenly that day in Dallas, jumped with his alien powers out of his head, and then they blamed it on a bullet. Okay? It wasn't a magic bullet. It was a tiny alien named or Mike.
John Kennedy was assassinated by different people. It wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald. And the whole scenario, the whole government narrative was a total lie. Next came Vietnam, and everybody's saying we got to go fight communism, we got to go fight communism. Again, total lies.
Based old conspiracy man.
We went in there, tried to install our own government, and 50,000 young men died. Eventually, the North Vietnamese took over Saigon. They took it anyway. It was all for nothing. And I'm not talking about our soldiers. Our soldiers are good men. They're doing what they were told to do. They were doing something to defend their country. But it was all lies. Same thing happened in Iraq. Same thing happened in Afghanistan. All those young men that died. And it was all lies.
Okay, cool. I don't disagree so far.
We accomplished absolutely...
I mean, I disagree about the JFK assassination thing, but...
nothing but destroying all those countries. Next came the landing on the moon.
Oh, here's the part I'm going to disagree with, I'm guessing.
1969, the landing on the moon. Once again, total lies.
No, we went to the moon. I get it. I totally get it. Believe me, I'm not a nationalist in any way, shape, or form. I don't give a shit. So, like, if we didn't go to the moon and I thought that was sus, I'd be the first person to be like, that's a lie, and be snarky and whatever about it. We went to the moon. We did. We went to the moon as, like, the American government created an agency to do the space race, and we went to the moon. Like, demonstrably, we went to the moon.
The whole thing was a fabrication, nothing but lies.
Why has nobody been
Oh, it's this clip.
to the moon in such a long time?
It's Buzz Aldrin misspeaking because he's a billion years old. no disrespect to Mr. Aldrin. He's a, you know, cool guy. I respect that he risked his life to go to the moon in pursuit of, like, scientific stuff and exploration and whatever. So I respect that. I respect Buzz Aldrin, but he's an old man, even in this clip, and he misspoke. And conspiracy theorists have been using this clip ad nauseum ever since.
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen, so in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going.
Yeah, it's annoying because he can understand what he's trying to say anyway. Sam Garrison, thanks for following.
I don't want to be presumptuous here. I can call you Buzz, okay?
That's a legal name, passport,
Okay.
driver's license.
And I am Uncle Coney tonight.
Uncle Coney.
Let's talk about this, because this is fascinating. I remember very clearly, I think anybody who was alive at the time does. I remember my parents waking me up, and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon,
No,
which
you
was...
didn't. No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. So you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memories.
Yeah, I know.
This is what it says in John 8:44. It says, "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode..."
I don't think he was saying that the entire thing didn't happen. I think he was saying that there were portions of the broadcast that illustrated parts that couldn't be captured by an actual camera, of which I'd imagine there were parts.
Not in the truth, because there's no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. People, Satan is the father of lies, and he's the god of this world. So no wonder this world is a world full of lies. People listen. And she has the third highest position in the United States.
He's kind of interesting, but I don't think his personality is enough to, like, make a long video interesting. You know what I mean? I'll put him on the list so I can check any videos out in the future, because I think there's potential there, but he's just kind of, you know, grandpa rambling. Anyway, someone asked for cryptid something? Let's look for cryptid. Cryptid. A lot of them are like an hour long, which I'm not looking for most of the time because I like to get in more stuff. Are cryptids like Bigfoot mentioned in the Bible? Yes, I believe so. Hear me out. God, why are they so long? They're all so long. Can't you just talk about Bigfoot for like 10 minutes? Why does this have to be like... Here's one that's only 6 minutes. It's about Bigfoot.
And also I noticed, you know, she had a few holes in her walls in the house. It's you know, she lives in a really...
I'm going to put the camera not on because it's like a Renaissance or medieval depiction of a titted woman. I don't know how Twitch feels about that.
You know, she had been communicating with them since the 70s. And, you know, they're like her family. And, you know, while we're sitting there, I heard something upstairs, and, you know, I didn't think nothing about it. I was like, maybe, you know, I don't know what I thought about it, to be honest with you. And she's sitting there, and all of a sudden, she's sitting in this chair, and
We still don't have bases on the moon. It's pretty suspicious, not gonna lie. No, it's not, actually. We had a moon, like, mission program, Apollo, in the 60s and 70s. And then the space race basically ended, so we had no real reason to do so. They're actually working right now to try and do more permanent stuff on the moon. The Artemis program is the current program that NASA is doing in conjunction with SpaceX in order to put more permanent bases and things like that on the moon, starting in 2023, 24. They're doing tests right now with the rockets. So, while it might seem unintuitive to you, that we didn't put bases on the moon. It just wasn't realistically feasible in the 60s or 70s or even the 80s or 90s, and there wasn't really any political will to do so. So there are reasons. Oh god, why is there a thing on Chris Chan? Let's check out the Bible one. It's long, but if it's good.
All right. Hi, folks. I want to do a quick video on cryptids or demonic entities. In my opinion, they're the same thing, and why I believe they're mentioned in the Bible. Okay. First thing, my point is, and what I want you all to understand is, I believe in the Bible these beings are mentioned, and then if you go back to the original Hebrew, and I mean, we're talking. Let's just start with what everybody.
Sidosaurus says, haven't we already found all we could find up there, which is why we haven't bothered going back, or do you think there's more to... I'm sure there's more we could learn, like, in a low-gravity environment. I'm sure there are plenty of science that could be done there, even if it was just figuring out how to better create sustainable living conditions in unhospitable conditions like the moon, where there's no atmosphere or whatever. Like, I'm sure there are things to learn. There are always things to learn, but there has been no political will because there isn't really money in it. And there certainly wasn't in the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Just now, barely, is the private sector thinking, oh, maybe we could make some money doing something like this. And, like, the pie-in-the-sky dream of, like, space mining and using the moon as a base to get things so we can mine asteroids or whatever. Which, you know, think about that what you want. But either way, basically the will now is coming for commercial purposes, and yes, science, as the price of launching things is getting cheaper, it's becoming more feasible. Tea with Goblin says, also now that Putin has royally shat the bed of international politics, we've lost a significant global partner in space exploration. If I remember correctly, the Russians were the only ones consistently sending supplies and repair teams to the ISS. Yeah. Not to mention we're kind of having a space race version 2 happening, not only with the private sector, but China has sort of ramped up its own space organization, its own space, like, missions and stuff with their space station and their missions. They put a rover on Mars in the last year or two. So, yeah, competitiveness ends up driving the United States to take more action on space-related stuff like this. Real Radham, thanks for 2 months, says, keep on being awesome. You're an inspiration, and your laugh is one of the most pure things on the planet. Oh, thank you.
Everybody's familiar with. Most people...
Sidosaurus says, I'm not super well versed in all of it, so I was just curious. I would think we would want to investigate other stuff, but I'm sure there are other things we could experiment with after how many years it's been since the last mission. I'm sure. I'm not someone to talk to about that, just because I wouldn't know the specifics, but I'm sure there's plenty of, like, scientific stuff that could be learned about the moon and about space and everything from doing stuff there. It'll be similar probably to Antarctic bases, except even more isolated.
People who study the Bible understand.
Speaking of which, in the next 20 or 30 years, if we do get moon missions, there will definitely be a remake of The Thing that takes place on the moon in one of their bases instead of Antarctica.
And that the screech owl, which in Hebrew's name is Lilith, is a reference to a demonic entity that's feminine. Okay, that's one. Okay, another easy layup. Seder in the Bible, right? When Seder is mentioned in the Bible, we understand, like it's in Leviticus, God talks about how the Israelites were sacrificing to this thing. We understand that that is...
Dirtjur with a link.
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
Unfortunately not true anymore. Old-timey, why am I blanking on his name? No one say anything. Let's do the... Tim Curry.
It's linked to Pan, okay? Like the Greek god Pan, which is like a half goat, half man. And it's literally a demonic entity that God tells the Israelites in Leviticus to stop sacrificing to in the fields. I think most Bible scholars will agree, at least on that the screech owl...
Belingaleo, thanks for following.
Which is the Hebrew word is Lilith, is the feminine demonic entity that the Hebrews literally call Lilith. And I believe it's linked to the screech owl because of the screeching noises that it makes, is what it seems to be, is why it's called that. And the satyr, once again, is linked to Pan. Now, in case you don't understand this, folks, the word Pan, like as in panic or pandemic, that word is basically literally, and I mean literally, defined, the common the standard definition, and where that word comes from, like the etymology of that word. That's what I'm trying to say.
Pan is a combining form used like a prefix meaning all. Means all.
Etymology of that.
Which is why pandemic means all, basically disease all over the earth.
Word go.
Rachology says, at Real Adhum has an excellent Twitch stream where they paint miniatures and go through chuds and conspiracy videos and debunk them in a lovely and soothing manner. Nice, I'll have to check it out. Overthought says, Pan does, evil confirmed.
Goes back to the terror and panic that people would feel when they would have a satyr sighting, folks. Go back and look at the etymology of the word. That's where it comes from. It is literally rooted, pandemic and panic are literally rooted.
Panic, it might be. Pandemic, I don't see the connection, but I don't know.
The meaning is literally rooted.
And also, what is with the conspiracy theorist fetishism of looking at, like, the etymology of words and assuming that words are magic, and that if something has a root word that relates to some previous definition from long ago in, like, Latin or something, that means that the thing it's being called now must literally be that thing? That's not how words work. They're not magic. Whatever we call it is the thing, even if it doesn't make sense. Tea with Goblin says, in the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Lilitu are referenced to being bird-like creatures, and Lilith herself retained an association with owls. So that verse is almost certainly an oblique reference to Lilith. The guy is definitely wrong about the pan-satyr thing, though. Night maps and mimics.
Rooted in the terror that people feel when they had sightings of this being, this goat man thing, right? Now, folks, we've got sightings of goat men today. There's like a bridge in Massachusetts where people had repeated sightings of this goat man thing, right?
Sometimes we go down to the bridge on Friday nights. We drink 40s and wait for the goat man. Sometimes he shows up. Usually it's the nights that I drink a whole bottle of absinthe. I love the goat man. I once proposed marriage to him. He said no. He's already married and he hates his wife.
Right. And that, in my opinion, links to Bigfoot, because now how many people have we had that had a sighting of Bigfoot, folks? And literally they talk about the terror that shot through them. And they also, another thing I'm going to get into, are the howling noises that these Sasquatch entities make, and how when they scream, it's not normal. It's like that it vibrates their body on a spiritual level, and they can feel the vibration in their...
How do you feel a vibration on a spiritual level? Can you explain that to a dirty materialist like myself?
Chest. They can feel like the electrostatic in the air, the electrolyzed static in the air, folks. And that is similar to, like, the screech owl is linked to a feminine entity, like, for one instance, in, like, Irish and Scottish folklore, folks, they call it a banshee. And it would come to the myth around it is that this banshee feminine entity would come to you and screech at you or yell at you, and it would be similar. People would report similar things. They could feel the vibration through their body, and most of the time this was at night in like a sleep state, right? And they say that the banshee would come, and when it screeched like that, that was a warning that someone in your family was going to die. Okay. Now, I don't believe in any of that, right? Okay. But I do.
But we are Bigfoot, absolutely. Banshees, That's crazy. I don't believe anything the Irish have ever said.
I believe these entities did visit people and screeched at them, and I believe that's a spiritual attack. Now, were these things involved in the death of a family member? Probably, folks. You know, I mean, if you're not a Christian, you know, following Jesus Christ, I believe you are open to attacks from these things, and I believe that's obvious if you've ever experienced any type of spiritual warfare. Anyways, don't want to change the subject and get lost in that. I need to stay focused here because I want to show you in the Bible where there are other names for, like, for instance, if you can see on your screen now, you can see doleful creature is mentioned, an owl is mentioned, satyr, which I told you again is the goat man and like the goat god.
This guy is like having a manic episode. He just won't stop talking.
And takes his wife, folks. Now, as much, and God...
It's like breathless speaking for an hour.
And like I've told you before, folks, I believe it is linked to Sasquatch and other animals, right? But anyways, there that is. Let's move on here. Okay, even the Strongs, okay, a howler, a lonesome wild animal, doleful creature. Now, how many Christians, folks, throughout, since we've had the KJV, have literally read over that doleful creature, oh wow, wonder what that is, and just breeze right along, having no knowledge on the subject, not understanding that these Hebrew words are very specific, and they are probably about demonic entities, okay? We just breeze right over it. Sometimes you got to go back to the Hebrew, right? Okay, here.
Real Radham says all this women screeching sounds like he's just not good with women.
And it says doleful creatures and owls. Okay, there's more information here, folks. First,
he's kind of interesting, but he's super long-winded. Like, I can't see myself watching... Well, I guess he has some shorter videos. I'll save him, but not that particular video. Just because, hoo boy, it would take forever to listen to one of his videos. I'd be pausing every 5 seconds. Let's see. Are people still doing conspiracies about 5G? Oh my god, so many from the same person. It's a whole channel. Stop 5G. That's funny.
Yeah, if you go to time2freeamerica.com/revelation, time2freeamerica.com.
Citisaur says he sounds like a fun kind of crazy. I love that kind of stuff. Yeah.
/revelation. That's where you can find.
I know Elon Musk is a con man, right? The electric vehicles recharge stations draw power from the national grid, which uses fossil fuels to make that power. I don't like Elon Musk. Is it because why do you think I like Elon Musk? I hate Elon Musk. Don't get me wrong, I still think electric cars are a good thing. I just don't like Tesla because Elon Musk is a grifter. But nonetheless, it's still better to power cars electrically, even if they're connected to something that uses fossil fuels on the grid and then change the grid, than to do nothing. It's still a good thing and a move in the right direction. Not to mention it's honestly cheaper. So, if you can afford an electric car, I'd recommend it. But I'm not trying to be classist, I get it. Teslas are expensive and crap. I don't recommend you buy a Tesla, but there are cheaper options for electric cars. We're still probably about a decade away from it being reasonable in the used car market for a lot of people, but that's just a thing that'll be fixed by time.
All of the information organized in a timeline format. Again, that's time2freeamerica.com/revelation.
Truth behind the moon landing.
Great. So what is
I'll have to try and find this
information that we got to know?
Okay, well, let's start off with the really, really bad,
yes.
Which is also simultaneously maybe really, really good. So let me do this. Okay, so if anybody out there has read the Bible, I'm going to pull up the Bible. I'm just going to type in Revelation. Okay, let's go to. Actually, I'll just go to time2freeamerica.com/revelation. I'll go there. I'll pull up the website, and there, the Bible verses there. Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 through 18. And I would encourage everybody to read it with the profundity that it deserves. It is the irrefutable word of God, and it matters. And it reads, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to..."
What comes up on BitChute if you search Michigan conspiracy? Oh god, let's find out. Oh, that makes sense. It's tons of, election conspiracy stuff. That makes sense. Hydrate. 16, 20, 30K isn't cheap, which is why I said it'll be like 10 years before those cars start trickling down into the used car markets and they get down in price. Most people buy used cars. It's prohibitively expensive still. I'm not saying it isn't. Is your recommendation that we just do nothing? Like, what's your point here? I already told you I don't like Elon Musk. Oh, God. This looks insane.
We now turn to the distinguished senator from Michigan, Senator Levin.
Mr. Chairman, thank you, Senator Cole, Senator Feinstein. Thank you, first of all, for holding the hearings, giving me an opportunity to testify today, and it's a very important hearing that you're holding here today because of the activities of the militias. I've met with law enforcement officials in my state. I've listened to my constituents who are concerned with the militia movement. One of their concerns is the extreme rhetoric coming from some of the militias and their leaders. Government,
Okay, militia's bad. I agree. Are we going to talk? Is it just a clip from?
And the present capability.
Come on, anything usable. No, there's only 6 videos.
If you're wondering where the 5G towers are in your area for your cell phone use or for you're receiving interference on some devices, you can go to this map here at speedtest.net.ocla-5G-map. I'll have a link to this.
What happened to the nothing funny about the tools of capitalism soundbite? It was going off constantly. It was annoying. It was distracting, so I got rid of it.
In the description, and you can go.
I did like that. It was funny, but
go down here and sort of navigate the map and find if there's any 5G towers in your location. As you can see here, if you're looking at Canada, there's actually a lot less in Canada. We're a lot.
Hot 5G towers in your area now. Yeah, I have 5G in my area. I have 5G basically everywhere I go in the city. So
I guess in the
5G is not a bad thing, guys. I don't know if you know this.
I don't know, maybe Canada's just always a little bit behind, which is not a bad thing sometimes. And then in the US, there's a lot more towers. But as I can see in my area, a couple miles from me, there's one tower in the downtown area. And then, but also, sometimes they don't seem to have a whole lot of these 5G towers. So they could be causing you interference if you're a C-band satellite user. I'm trying out right now as one of these titanium C.
Oh, is he not a conspiracy theorist? Is he literally a hobbyist who just genuinely gets interference from that? Because that's fine.
138.
That'd be good.
LMBs.
Do I want to hear a cute story? Today I was talking with my niece who's in 5th grade and she casually dropped the word goat girls in the story she was telling me about her friends. Upon pressing for her elaboration, goat girls are exactly like horse girls, but for goats. Going around making goat noises and everything. The idea of that is so hilarious and adorable to me. Learning about the existence of these goat children made my day. That's funny. Mike Maxwell.
Strap yourself in and feel the cheese!
tinfoil hat of 2022.
Recently, more and more people are inquiring about the 5G network and its health impacts on our bodies, especially when 5G...
You're fine. It's not doing anything to you. Marcus Drake says, here are super crazy sites with articles and videos. This one has a list of reasons Egypt was in America under the main... Oh, God. All right. Oh, I actually have this person on my list. Yeah, I know. Oh. Real Radhom says, not sure if there's anything here that's useful for you, but some of my favorite conspiracy sources are Tartaria Australia, which I have, Robert Seffer and Max Egan. I'm not familiar with the last two, but I do have Tartaria Australia on my list already. They tend to post long videos, which is an issue most of the time. You'll make our godchild a goat child. Angie will hate me, but we'll be cool ants. True.
5G is going to be more prevalent and implemented in our vicinity. Some of us may react to radiation caused by 5G.
No, you don't. You do not. If you think that's happening, it's psychosomatic. Go see a therapist.
And report symptoms like headaches, sleep disturbances, fatigue.
Verkadon, thanks for 20 months. Literally, this is psychosomatic if this is happening to you. I'm sorry, and I'm sure it feels very real to you, but it is not actually caused by 5G. There have been no tests that have shown any connection between people who claim to have this sort of disorder with EMF, like with any sort of electromagnetic waves or anything. There's no correlation. What they do to test this, by the way, if you care to hear about it, basically they have a device that they claim, the scientists will say like, oh, this is emitting 5G or emitting some sort of radio waves when it's on, and they click it on and off and see it when they can determine if it's on or off. There's nothing in the box. It's just a light that turns on. Or then they take it and they put a thing over it, and then they have something that actually does emit something, but the person can't see it, and they have to try and say when it's on and off, and they have no idea. There's no correlation between any sort of waves like this and actual physiological problems. Vortigaunt, thanks for 2 months, says, hi, Hannah. Hello, how you doing?
Fatigue, stress, dizziness, etc. Therefore, it's important to protect ourselves from EMF and RF, particularly our...
Have I heard that the trans politics is Satan half man, half goat with boobs? Are you talking about Baphomet? I've heard about Baphomet and transphobic people saying that trans people are servants of Baphomet because of the dick and titties if you're a trans woman. Real Radhom says, Robert Seffer does a lot of 20 to 40 minute videos. He's an esoteric neo-Nazi, so plenty of real Atlantis Nazi UFO stuff. Oh boy.
Our brains. One of the most...
Poetic Fox says, today my great-nephew punched my cousin, both for, and when he asked why, Jesus made me strong to do it. Everyone but me laughed. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Popular head protection is the bush hats and the EMF protection bandana and the protection caps. These products are designed to reduce the exposure of our heads to the EMF around us. The bush hats are created from specialized materials designed to protect the brain from absorbing harmful EMF and are custom sewed to prevent any gaps in which the EMF may slip through. The bush hats are specifically...
Except the rest of your face and skull and body. It can travel through your body, but it can't do so from this way. Only this way for some reason.
To completely cover your head. Even the brim is covered with RF blocking materials. As you can see, these hats come in...
It's just a hat. I bet it's just a hat.
2 different colors, blue and...
Like, I'm saying, obviously it doesn't work because none of this is real, but what I am saying is I don't even think there's anything that probably actually blocks anything in this hat. It's just a hat.
And gray. The EMF protection bandana has high contents of silver, which makes it flexible to adapt to any heads and durable enough to have an attenuation of...
Yeah, I don't think that's silver. I have a vest like that. It's reflective material. It's not silver. It's just like a reflective material. You can see how it gets shiny on camera because of the lighting. This is the same exact material as that bandana. Well, that's really distracting if I set that there, isn't it? Better not.
50 dB. The bandana is a great modern alternative to the headgear or headscarf. It covers your head and back of the neck and stays in place, thanks to the two straps that tie in the back. Similarly, the EMF protection cap sports a very fashionable design like a baseball cap, with materials designed to protect the brain from EMF and RF effects. You can wear these caps at home, for sports, outside your home, or just anywhere you want. All of this merchandise are made in-house, 100% Canadian, and the fabrics are certified OECO Test Class 100 and 1000, which means our fabrics are soft to the touch and will not cause any reactions to your skin. For more information about these products or other EMF products we carry, please email us at info.
That's funny. Ooh, they have a whole... Okay, yeah, I'll save them. We can look at their, what is in my opinion, a scam. "10 reasons why ancient Egypt was in the Americas." Oh boy. Egypt is associated with pyramids, but most pyramids are in the Americas. Egypt is associated with pyramids, however, the most pyramids and oldest pyramids are in the Americas. There are more pyramids in North America than all of Africa. Egypt is known for, like, the Egyptian pyramids. There are pyramids in, like, South and Central America, but they're a different kind of pyramid, and they were made by a different group of people. What? Ancient Egypt was a global advanced ancient civilization. Oh, boy. Based upon the above evidence, Memphis, Tennessee was ancient Memphis because the ancient Egyptian god Ptah, I don't know if the P is silent and it's just Ptah, and his capital city of Luxor is from the Americas, and since the Americas is the old world. No. Innocuous Blonde, thanks for 6 months, says... "You hear this, Hannah? Your tinfoil gear now apparently needs to be stealthy to be true to life. Also glad to have 6 months today." Nice. Well, thank you very much. Wow, this is nuts. Okay, yeah, saved. Control C, Control V.
It's Easter time again, and many people spend at least part of it in a church, which is usually a building used for public worship, with stained glass windows, beautiful architecture, great acoustics for choirs, and hard wooden seats. Somewhere one can go to be in the presence of God. But in my case, a building never really felt like a proper sanctuary, especially on Easter, which is traditionally a time for celebrating spring in the Northern Hemisphere, long before Christianity. So I find myself going to places that more appropriately feels like the house of the divine. Parallels the German word Ostern is derived from the Anglo-Saxon word denoting the goddess of spring, love, and fertility.
The ex-astronauts asked to put their hand on a Bible and swear they were on the moon and was verbally and physically aggressively avoided. Have you seen the video? It's hilarious. Buzz Aldrin punches the shit out of that guy and it's amazing. The guy's such a jackass. He lied to get Buzz Aldrin there for an interview, and then he's an asshole to a guy who literally risked his life to go to the moon, and then Buzz Aldrin smacks him in the face. It's beautiful. Is that song choice a Batman reference? I'm guessing not.
While Christians are taught that it celebrates the resurrection of Jesus.
Do we want to see Buzz Aldrin punch the guy in the face? Let's do it. Rachology says, other than construction materials, shape, usage, function, and religious beliefs, the pyramids in the Americas and Egypt have identical sound of my blood boiling.
You're the one who...
This one is about half an hour long, but this lady Tilly Cat is a grab bag of conspiracy crazy that may be worth looking at. There's everything here. Satanic cabals, 5G brainwashing, weather manipulating through chemtrails. At one point she accuses an anti-sexual violence campaigner who became Australian of the year of being in a satanic... Oh my god. Okay, cool. Thank you. Real Radham says, be careful with anything from this dude involving fertility deities. He likes putting scriptures and art on topless ladies in. Worth scrubbing through to check. He's also worth speeding up about 1.3 times speed. Okay.
who said you walked on the moon when you didn't. Calling the kettle black, if ever thought of it. Saying I misrepresented myself. Away from me. You're a coward and a liar and a thief. And a thief. And a thief.
Zoom in hands.
And a thief. And a thief. And a thief.
Can't say that. Can't say anything about committing violence on someone, even as a joke. Twitch's policy, sorry. Beautiful.
Which may or may not be historically true. What is undisputed fact is that since prehistoric times, spring has always been associated with the renewal of life. When the vernal
Is this guy the guy you said was like a Nazi?
Nestled in the mountains between France and Spain, there is a semi-isolated population of native European people that have long puzzled anthropologists, linguists, and historians because although they are Caucasoid, they do not fit in with the rest.
Okay, yeah, he's a Nazi. Yep.
To the European population. Their language, for example, is distinctly unique in Europe and not related to any other Indo-European language. But that's not the only thing that's unique about the Basque. The Basque turned out to also be unique in terms of blood. Prior to the advent of genetic research tools, investigators used the ABO blood groups to study the relationships between human populations as well as their migration patterns. Each person's blood is one of four major types: A, B, AB, or O. Blood types are determined by the types of antigens on the blood cells. Antigens are proteins on the surface of blood cells that can cause a response from the immune system. The Rh factor is a type of protein on the surface of red blood cells. Most people are Rh positive. Those who do not have the Rh factor are Rh negative, which compromises about 15% of the world's population, but appears in much higher percentage among the Basque, which as a population contain among the highest levels of Rh negative blood in the world.
This legit just looks like the horrifying community from Midsommar.
The Basque people currently inhabit the area surrounding the Pyrenees Mountains, where Cro-Magnon man left behind some of his and her most famous artwork over 30,000 years ago. But exactly who are the Basque and where did they come from? I decided that a great place to find out is the University of Nevada, since it houses the Center for Basque Studies. This organization is primarily a research center that conducts and publishes on Basque-related topics such as anthropology, history, cultural studies, etc. Here's what they had to say about the Basque people and their origins, and this comes from their website's frequently asked questions.
Radiology says Basque separatists also carried out one of the most extensive terrorist campaigns in modern European history, so he better be complimentary, is all I'm saying. What the fuck?
Question: where did the Basque come from? No one knows exactly where the Basque come from. Some say they have lived in the area since Cro-Magnon man first roamed Europe. Some say they are descended from the original Iberians. More fanciful theories exist as well. One is that the Basques are the descendants of the survivors of Atlantis. Question:
Atlantis isn't real. Atlantis isn't real. It was a metaphor Plato was using.
where did the Basque language come from? Just as no one is sure about the origins of the Basques themselves, linguists are not in agreement over the origins of Euskara, the Basque language, either. When asked, I found that the majority of the Basque people themselves maintain that they came from Atlantica, a powerful maritime nation that sank into the Atlantic Ocean
Complimentary, sorry, dyslexia. Yeah.
after a terrible cataclysm, and from which a few survivors reached the Bay of Biscay and the Pyrenees Mountains. This, they say, is not just mythology, but their true pre-European ancestry. There's another ancient people who claim racial lineage from the mythical Atlanteans. The Berbers are currently located geographically around Mount Atlas, but inhabit much of North Africa long before the Arabs arrived. The Berbers are considered the aboriginals of the area, and their origins beyond that are not officially known. Here we have a population, many of whom have blue eyes and light hair, living in Northwest Africa of all places, and amongst some of the blonde tribes still living near the Atlas Mountains of Morocco, the percentage of Rh negative blood can reach 40%. Now keep in mind, that's not the general national average, but restricted to certain local tribes. Anthropologists, for the most part, dismissed them for many years because they didn't fit well with the out of Africa paradigm. So it was presumed that they had migrated from somewhere in Europe.
I see. I know he had a video on his channel too that's like, quote, debunking the out of Africa hypothesis, end quote. I get it. He wants to try and discredit the idea that human beings and Homo sapiens evolved to be Homo sapiens and earlier hominids in Africa because he's fucking racist. He's a Nazi, so he doesn't want that to be true because it means everyone inherently has African ancestry, which we do. You know? It's stupid. What an idiot.
However, that theory has been abandoned with the current understanding of genetics. Scientists now accept the genetic evidence that concludes Berbers are an indigenous people, which they believe are descended from native Upper Paleolithic Cro-Magnon types, going straight back into the Pleistocene or Ice Age. This should make it easier to understand why the oldest remains found in Egypt, nicknamed Ginger, and currently on display in the British Museum, has naturally red hair. This is pre-dynastic, which means before the pharaohs and before the accepted dating of the pyramids. I can go on for quite some time about blonde and red-headed mummies and blue-eyed statues.
Ah, so he's gonna claim ancient Egyptians were white, blonde, Aryan types. Yikes.
But I'll save that for a future video on ancient Egypt. For now, let us turn to another population native to an island off of the African coast. who also
Daco
left
Jack, thanks for
mummies
following.
and pyramids. The Guanches were very tall, powerfully built, blonde and red-haired indigenous.
What is with these people and, like, fetishizing specific phenotypical features that mean nothing? Stop it. Okay, yeah, I'll save this channel. Goddamn Nazis. Why do people like this go so far to prove themselves right? Like, why does it even matter? You'd have to ask a psychologist. I honestly don't know. Yeah, it could have something to do with wanting to feel special, and they don't have something in their life to feel special about, so they try and link it to something inherent in themselves. Their, you know, the color of their skin, their hair color, eye color, whatever. Could just be a general feeling of wanting to be superior. I don't know. I really don't. But anyway, saved.
Hi guys, Kathy here. It's been a while since I've come on and done a live, but I do feel this is quite urgent and quite necessary to do a live about. Okay, for those of you that aren't aware, those of you that might be waking up, those of you that are awake, I know there's plenty of you that my feeds are getting out to that are awake, but for those of you that are currently waking up right now, the east coast of Australia is going to be hit with epic proportions of weather, rain in the next probably 2 weeks, anything from 3 days to 10 days. I'm talking all the way from Melbourne up to Brisbane and inland. This isn't climate change. This is geoengineering.
She's one of these people.
There's clear evidence that this is geoengineering. If you have...
Expect in the next 20 years these geoengineering conspiracy theorists to start gaining more traction, kind of similar to in the time of like COVID and the development of mRNA vaccines. We've seen an increase in conspiracy theories against the medical industries, doctors, scientists. You're going to see something similar as the effects of climate change become more and more prevalent. People, especially those who have denied climate change for decades, instead of admitting that they were wrong, many of them are going to go, I can't be wrong. There must be a concerted government conspiracy theory for scientists to lie to me and then to change the weather using magic weather machines, like Cobra Commander's Weather Dominator. They're actually going to believe this instead of just admitting they were wrong and lied to by right-wing media sources about climate change.
Haven't been taken in your environment. It's quite clear when you look up at the sky and you tune in with your ears that things are happening. And when you dig a little deeper and you see the radar and you look at the sonic frequencies that are being targeted in certain areas to manipulate the actual...
The sonic frequencies. I'd love to hear how she thinks sonic frequencies affect the weather.
You will find that these floods are being done on purpose. Now, if we go back to 2018, just after our PM was voted in, you will recall that we had severe fires suddenly. And anyone who was on the ground and who knew fires said that those fires were not like anything they had seen before. They were coming from really strange directions.
It's almost like extreme weather events, the likes of which we haven't seen, are going to happen more often because of climate change, which was literally predicted decades ago, and we refused to do anything.
The trees were burning from the inside out, which has never happened. And
yes, it does. That will happen. If a tree... I hate this conspiracy point, because this came up in that Q thing, the Follow the Cabal, which is sort of like an original, defining text of a lot of QAnon people's beliefs. They brought this up of, oh, look at this wildfire. This tree is burning from the inside out. How does that happen? And they just act as though begging the question is somehow like a gotcha, like, it must be the government No, if a tree is wet on the outside and dry inside, especially if it's a tree that's somewhat rotten and there are easy paths and holes in it that allows the fire to travel up on the inside, then trees can burn from the inside out. That's like a understood phenomenon. That's not new. That's not novel. That happens all the time. Rageology says, human-caused climate change is a myth. It's really people changing the climate. Real Radhom says, isn't Sonic Frequency the game where Sonic becomes a DJ or something? Eh. Am I a masonry member? I'm not. Although, if you'd like to come up with some sort of connection to me in the number 33, I wish you the best of luck.
And it was disgraceful. When you dig a little deeper, you find the World Economic Forum, under the New World Order, Agenda 21 to 30, has...
Just wait till you hear about Agenda 33. Oof.
Listed most of the towns on the east coast of Australia.
That's the secret one. I don't want to get too far into it, but it's the reason the McDonald's ice cream machines never work.
As smart cities. And they wish to build a rail through the...
I'm not weird. You just don't understand the machinations of my mind.
Areas that were basically...
What you looking for?
I'm just looking at thread.
Oh.
Decimated by fires.
Why am I nosy? Probably because I have a big nose.
And are potentially, in the near future, going to be decimated by floods. Lismore being one of the cities that has been signed up for the Smart Cities program. It's easy, I can post...
Okay, I like this person. I mean, I don't like this person, you know what I mean. But she has interesting conspiracy content, so saved.
Good morning, everyone.
Tea with Goblin says, also part of the reason why the 2019 bushfires were so bad is because the preceding season had been unusually hot and dry, meaning that the tree canopies were so full of dead leaf litter that it went up like a tinderbox and made fires utterly uncontrollable. Poor koalas. Yeah.
Talking to myself, because no one's come on.
I like the cut of her gibberish. Ooh, that's good.
But, thought I'd just do a quick one today, a quick live today, to wish everyone a wonderful Easter. I hope you're with your families today, which is very difficult.
That might just be an Easter message. I need more conspiracy from her, please.
And, you know, evidence that...
What they said was, no, we have this gag order. Did you know about the gag order? Did you know you can't do that on Facebook? And why is it Facebook is a criminal, but if you...
A cleanse?
What the hell do you think you're doing? Dragging your butt through the day, selling body and soul to a bunch of bland normals? Acting stupid so they'll think you're one of them? Tired of getting all of the guilt, but none of the sex? There is a simple answer, dear friend. A glowing beacon of slack amidst the turmoil and darkness. It's J.R. Bob Dobbs, the living slack master, and his Church of the Subgenius. Bob brings a new destiny for the abnormal. For Bob comes to justify our sins, to unmask the conspiracy, and to get us back the slack they stole away. It's us versus them. Are you gonna fry in hell on earth alongside the pink boys? Or will you pull the wool over your own eyes and accept Bob into your mind? Repent, quit your job, slack off, and praise Bob!
Church of the Subgenius, eternal salvation, or triple your money back.
Alright. Mr. Blast sent me something. What is this called? Rosicrucian. Perhaps look closely at Trump at Epstein Island. Why do you... It feels like you're speaking very cryptically. If you want to say something, you can just say it, you know? Like, I don't What is the point you're trying to make here? That Trump is probably a proprietor of Epstein? It wouldn't surprise me. What do you want me to say about it? Seems like you tap dance around whatever you want to say, and I don't get why. Be an adult. Let's see. Rosicrucianism is a spiritual and cultural movement that arose in Europe in the early 17th century after the publication of several texts purported to announce the existence of a hitherto unknown esoteric order to the world and made seeing its knowledge attractive to many. The mysterious doctrine of the order is built upon esoteric truths of ancient past, which is concealed from the average man, providing insight into nature, physical universe, and spiritual realm. The manifestos do not elaborate extensively on the matter, but clearly combine references to Kabbalah, Hermeticism, alchemy, and Christian mysticism. Interesting. Modern groups. During the late 19th and 20th centuries, various groups styled themselves Rosicrucian. The diverse groups who link themselves to Rosicrucian tradition can be divided into three categories: esoteric Christian Rosicrucian groups, which professed Christ; Masonic Rosicrucian groups such as Societas Rosicruciana; and initiatory groups such as Golden Dawn and Ancient Mystic Order of Rosicrucius. Oh my god. Do I want to... Wait, hold on. Do I want to talk to Bob on stream? Bob who? Cidosaurus says, chat's full of crazy today. I know. Let me see if anyone has a YouTube channel about this. Bob Larson? Maybe. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Rosicrucianism.
The Rosicrucian path is the journey of the mystic.
Rosicrucian, sorry.
Few souls brave it at any single time.
They meant Sam? I don't know, about what? If Sam wanted to talk, that's fine. I just need to know about what.
Yet, it is this internal voyage that has rewarded many of our greatest minds with the ability to enrich the world. But it is a pilgrimage each individual must travel in their own time, for it reveals the path of knowing. It transcends time and space. This path of the Rosicrucian reveals higher truths for personal evolution. You are invited to witness its sacred history. Atlantis. For
Yeah.
centuries, scholars have argued over the existence of an advanced civilization.
No, they haven't. It doesn't exist. No serious historian thinks Atlantis was a real thing.
With vast technological, scientific, and spiritual knowledge. Much of the earliest public information in recorded history comes from the Athenian philosophy.
You think Atlantis is these people's fetish? Of course it is. A city under the sea is the only possibility they could use to get women wet. It's an ocean joke.
Philosopher Plato, whose famous works, the Critias and the Timaeus, include accounts of this ancient and advanced society. According to Plato, Atlantis was a massive island in the Atlantic Ocean, said to be the creation.
I've not played The Fate of Atlantis, no.
Of the Greek god Poseidon. In the Critias, the philosopher wrote about the values of the Atlantean society. They despised everything but virtue, caring little for their present state of life and thinking lightly of the possession of gold and other property, which seemed only a burden to them. Neither were they intoxicated by luxury, nor did wealth deprive them of their self-control, but they were sober and saw clearly that all these goods are increased by virtue and friendship.
That's a picture of a bunch of classical philosophers and scientists.
With one another. The Greek god of the sea is said to have appointed 10 kings when creating order in Atlantis, each with his own division and within his own city. These kings had absolute control over citizens and laws alike, punishing and even killing as the monarch chose. Some believe it is the cradle of primordial tradition, which flows through Rosicrucian tradition. Legend tells us the first king of Egypt was chosen among the Atlanteans, and later Thutmose III, in addition to serving...
Did I see Ben Shapiro thought on the Batman? Didn't he think it was like woke or something? I don't know.
As pharaoh, together with his co-pharaoh Hatshepsut, organized the mystery schools together as a single order.
Thutmose III was a very controlling and organizing individual. One of the things he was very interested in was the already operating classes concerning mysticism, looking into the mysteries of life. And he organized them from disparate groups to one solid class. He did not interfere with the thinking of the generality of the Egyptian people who worship many gods.
The incredible detail is often chalked up to the imagination by those uninterested in the esoteric mysteries of the ancient past. Yet, Plato is practical in his description and even goes so far as to describe the Atlantean landscape, architecture, and infrastructure, pointing out their advanced use of water, stating, "In the next place, they had fountains, one of cold and another of hot water, in gracious plenty flowing, and they were wonderfully adapted for use by reason of the pleasantness and excellence of their waters. They constructed buildings about them and planted suitable trees. Also they made cisterns, some open to the heavens, others roofed over, to be used in winter."
I'm saving this channel.
For coming. Tonight's topic is going to be on the Rosicrucian science of initiation.
But Hannah, this lost manuscript proves such a place exists. Gulliver's Travels. Gulliver didn't go to Atlantis, damn it. He went to Little Putia, Brobdingnag, the city in the sky, that university, and then the horse place with the Wynnum. Did I miss any? Probably.
Some of you are new to me, and some of you I know from previous events. And what's different about tonight's event is we're really going to be focusing on trying to give a sense of the Rosicrucian system of initiation. There are many different spiritual systems in the world that have different types of initiation programs that a person goes through. And the Rosicrucian system is one that's been very influential in the West, but actually is sometimes hard to get information about what their actual system of development is.
I think this is about the old-timey ones. Either way, interesting. I'm glad I saved that other one. We'll look at them in the future. Okay, we got that. So now Max Eigen. Let's see who this is. Oh god, he was banned from YouTube. Does anyone know where he is?
We'll go and meet their friend.
Is he on Rumble or BitChute or anything? Unless he got unbanned or did a ban evasion. Let's try Rumble. What was his name? Max Gigan or something? That can't be it. Max Eigan. Gigan is a Godzilla villain. Watch this clip from 12-minute mark. You'll understand why some people can't accept we descended from Africa. Oh, God. Cleanse. Okay. 12 minutes.
Well, the paramedic said if Mr. Jefferson hadn't given you CPR, you wouldn't have made it.
He saved my life.
Is this an episode of The Jeffersons where the guy is racist, but then George Jefferson saves his life or something? I didn't watch The Jeffersons.
You should have let me die.
See that? They never change. You saved their life and they still don't change. Come on, let's get out of here.
Racist people. Why are they like this? Anyway, Max Eigen. Is it gonna search? Is Rumble not working now? That's weird. There we go.
If they come for me, I'm not going with them. I'm
Is this him?
not going to your camps. I'm not taking your jab. You know, I'll probably die on that day when they come for me. They intend to use vaccines to genetically modify you from the
No, they don't. None of this is true. He's giving medical misinformation.
inside out to hook you up to this mainframe. People think, you know, transhumanism is like the Borg with eye patches and plantons and shit. You know, no, it's from the inside out. And once they do it from the inside out, it's indelible. You're hooked up, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you say you don't want violence, well, what about counter-violence? Because this is violence. This is your country's been invaded. You've got foreign troops on your
Oh, he's literally advocating for violence. What a monster.
soil, terrorizing Canadian people. They can't even speak your language. Why is anybody doing anything these people are saying? We should be shooting these people, honestly, because...
Woo! He's coming in hot. Good lord. No one do that. That's illegal.
They're going to say there's a new wave of an Omicron variant and they're going to lock you down again. So they're doing, folks, and while they're doing that, they're talking about bringing in a digital currency as well. They're saying that this is a restructuring of the entire world financial system, but using blockchain technology. Of course they're using blockchain technology, but not cryptocurrency. They're actually bringing in their own government digital currency so that every single transaction will be tracked. This is something I was warning the blockchain people about back in...
Stone Corbell says, we already have digital currency. Ever use a debit card? The idea was, I know the Federal Reserve of the United States was looking into coming up with some sort of currency that's completely digital in the sense that it doesn't have to go through a bank. It can just be done like peer-to-peer, or like it goes through the Fed itself. I don't know exactly how it was supposed to work, but it was something they were looking into. I don't know if they still are.
2017, 2018, I was warning people that, you know, with all this crypto stuff you're doing and all this blockchain tech you're doing, it's all very well, but don't think the government isn't building an umbrella over the top. And they're quite happy to let you build your own prison, and then they're going to take it over.
You know, we've seen a lot of that talk this weekend about how we need to eliminate government and how it's all going to be good because we're moving towards all of this digital stuff and all of this crypto, and it's all removing control from government and putting it in the hands of us, which is a good thing in many ways. But we've really got to look at what's happening with a lot of it as well, with the automation that's coming along, because with whatever plan that you've got, whatever idea that you've got that's going to be world-changing, whether it's going to be cryptocurrency...
Sam, stop with the QAnon shit, please. Is this his channel? Is it called Be Free? No, they just post a lot of his stuff.
Progressive.
Maybe BitChute? Make him tier 3 sub? No. It's interesting. I can't find a central place for his stuff. Which is fine. Probably for the best. Just a pain to find his stuff. Save a search page.
An obscure TikTok channel called I Am Jesus #1. Interesting name for the channel, but someone's...
Did those people ever give up on JFK and leave Dallas? They're still a group to my knowledge. Some of the members have left, but they're still a thing. Kitty update, they're all good. They're doing good. Not much new.
Sent me that footage. Interesting. Like I said, I'd like to know where these photographs come from and what context they're kind of being produced in. I mean, who knows, they could have been photoshopped and be something recent, but you know, they certainly look authentic, even though they do look kind of weird. But with some of the stuff that we've found out about history and some of the stuff that they've...
Tea with Goblins says, yeah, Max Eigen is an absolute Nazi boofhead. He claimed that the Christchurch massacre was a hoax by the deep state to keep people of New Zealand afraid and docile. What an ass.
Nothing would surprise me. Thousands of people in
ambulance service, and they'll say,
Cleanse. What is it?
Ha! Looks like you won't be losing any more cards soon with this!
That card! It's a draw 2 card. Once that card is placed down, it forces the next player to draw 2 more cards in their hand, gaining more cards and putting them at a disadvantage.
That kid, he knew what to do, and found the perfect opportunity to strike. Now this match is starting to get real interesting.
Just 2 cards left. If all goes well in the next few turns, then my victory is assured. All I need from him now is a card that matches its color or its number.
I'm not letting you go that easily, foolish boy. I want to see your cute face break into tears.
What?
Behold your
Dahlia Vayani, thank you for 6 months.
demise! You lose a turn with this skip card.
This is bad.
Oh, but that's not all, my boy. Once Yanagi finishes her turn, I'll surprise him with this. The Wild Draw 4! With 6 cards in his hand and mine with only 1, he wouldn't stand a chance. I can't wait to wipe that irritating grin off his face once and for all.
That's pretty good.
we had a 30...
It does come through in the throat, especially in the dry.
Okay, what else? What else?
Group training digital organizers and campaign operatives for...
The Trump 2016 campaign was data-driven. We were the insurgent, non-incumbent, political outsider. We basically did with
There was no incumbent in that election. What?
the Obama folks did in 2012, but at a whole next level. Really did it on steroids.
The Trump campaign has built an elaborate
Does she mean
system
2008? Obama was first elected in 2008, not 2012.
to monitor supporters via Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
In those last months in the summer and fall of 2016, the Trump campaign had run nearly 6 million ads on Facebook. The Hillary Clinton campaign ran 66,000 ads. And so we were outspending them and outflanking them really on Facebook as a platform.
We'll watch the Tilly cat video probably on Tuesday. Today I'm just trying to like dip my toe into different conspiracy theorists and see if they're good or not to save them for later for the most part.
The scene here is so different than it was a few hours ago when people were happy and relaxed. I have been looking around the room.
Trump won.
Presidential election.
Hillary Clinton bashing Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg in a new interview.
They're going to claim Facebook conspired to get Donald Trump out of office.
Wizardry. These groups were filled with battles, to promote, or even worse,
was making an investment.
Because we all know Facebook is such a bastion of left-wing thought. The dark side of Disney. Oh, God. The fluoride deception.
It's April 2022. This is video.
Teeth Goblin says, fair, like a conspiracy tasting platter, a tinfoil tapas, if you will. That's a good name, tinfoil tapas.
Video number 308, and the shocking news is that the Great Reset is no longer just...
Oh, it's fine. I don't care if you talk to that Sam guy.
...just a nightmare for us, and an aspiration in the toxic minds of a bunch of the most evil conspirators ever known. The Great Reset is now frighteningly close to the scary conclusion we've all been dreading. We are already living within an oppressive, restrictive, faux communist society.
Full communist!
Based on digital...
Doesn't know what communist means.
...control and progressing rapidly towards a complete lack of individuality and freedom. Anyone who denies this is either very, very ignorant, very, very stupid, or bought and paid for in part of the nightmare. Most people, the collaborators, are dead, but they don't realize it yet. This is the laxative video I never wanted to have to make. Everything is now happening.
Broad like Moses, thanks for 100 bits.
Very rapidly.
Oh, a hype train kicked off, nice.
Anyone who's surprised at rising prices and rising inflation obviously didn't watch my videos a year ago. Just about everything significant that's happening to us was predictable. Inflation's not going to stop at 10%, by the way. I remember people grabbing mortgage loans at 15% with enthusiasm. If you find that frightening...
Mr. Whiskers with 50 bits, Stone Corral with 100 says, everything I don't like is communist.
Then how bad will things be when interest rates really get going? And
Wait, who's taking out like a home loan with a 15% interest rate? Jesus Christ.
Inflation hits 10,000%? Nothing is now impossible. Look at the history of Argentina. Inflation hit 10,000% there, and now seems to be nicely settled in at 50%. Look at Germany just under a century ago, and see how inflation brought about real political changes. In this video, I'm going to provide the proof that the Great Reset is much further along than most people realize. I'm going to show that everything that's been happening during the last 2 years, the COVID fraud, the net zero fraud, the sanctions against Russia,
Okay, I'll save this guy. Neemsar Kolboth, thanks so much for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Let's watch someone that we already watch. We're coming towards the end of the stream, and I think we got some good new conspiracy theorists to check out on Tuesday. So let's actually kind of wrap this up with watching one of our favorites, and that's, of course, Chris CC. Oh, you got another one? BitChute? Wardo Rants. Sidosaurus, thanks for gifting a tier 1 sub. 24% to level 3.
Some of that topic.
Provinces.
Parties that would just give...
Okay, I'll save this one. Bittergrin, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. It's like a gift sub party. Get in while the getting's good. Don't mean to peer pressure you, but all the cool kids are gifting subs. Mr. Whiskers, thanks for gifting a sub. This call of a new channel, I don't know off the top of my head. He has multiple Call for an Uprising channels currently. 61% to level 4.
Wow. I'm amazed. You know, all right, well, happy Easter to you guys. I forgot, my Easter is not until next weekend, but I mean, this is like Christmas. It's worse than fucking Christmas. I mean,
I've covered Mud Fossil University, yes, and his famous Goose Rock. Tea with Goblins with 100 bits says, hype for the hype gods. Thank you.
These people are animals here where I live. I mean, they don't care about anything.
some bits in the only conspiracy theorist you trust.
Don't drink soy milk or else Obama will buy your house. Don't drink soy milk or else Obama will buy your house.
Oh, I gotta cover Greg at some point, too. Didn't Greg become some kind of weird conspiracy theorist? Bardlock Moses, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Appreciate it. Another person for the gift sub party. Woo! Rad. So, I don't know if you guys know about Greg, Armored Skeptic. I think he's posting, like, weird conspiracy content now. I don't know what's up with that. Overthought, thanks for gifting a sub.
But themselves.
The thing is, I can't tell if he's doing just, like, a prolonged bit, and if he is, that's weird, I guess. But, like, it's if he's doing a bit, it's like an Andy Kaufman-esque bit.
Smash your car, and they just don't get. They're fucking animals. They really are. And that's what society has brought upon us. Animals.
77% to level 5.
Unfucking believable. Uncontrollable animals in a high populated area that can't think for themselves and don't know where they are and don't know what they live on, and they don't know who the creator is. And not that I know who the creator is, but I know there's a creator. And they just don't know themselves. Spells a recipe for a disaster. And then don't even get me started with the fucking politics and all that other nonsense that's going on, which is another distraction. All of it's distraction. I'm trying to talk to somebody, explain to them, really what is going on, and there's absolutely no way to sum up 5 years or 6 years, however long I've been in this. I have no idea. I can't even keep track anymore. And who the fuck cares of information and try to pack it in to a 15-minute conversation, at best. So most of the times, you get nine minutes into it. So what I have to do is I have to get some more pamphlets. I'm going to go out and buy some more pamphlets and some more cards. And hopefully...
CC claimed he was going to leave YouTube for another platform, but so far he hasn't mentioned it once, so...
They'll look at it, but I don't think it's enough. It's almost like you try to talk to these people and you just say, do you believe we landed on the moon? Start there. But when I wasn't looking into this and researching it, if somebody came up to me and said that, I would have just thrown it off and said, this guy's a fucking wacko, But I don't know. I don't know where to tell these lost people who are going to be fucking wearing face masks for the rest of their fucking lives.
Moira Soma, thanks for gifting 2 tier 1 subs and getting us to level 5 of the hype train. Much appreciated. Glad we got a level 5 today. It means a lot to me.
Where to start,
Especially considering my tax bill.
I think... I don't know. The moon landings start at NASA. Start with the lies with NASA. I don't know, but there's just absolutely no way that you can pack in all the information that you've learned in a short period of time. And so it's just a nice little reminder for you guys for Happy Beaster. Keep your mouth shut. Don't make yourself look like a dum-dum bird, even though you know all the truth. And you know all the lies, and you know all the nonsense that's going on. Just keep your mouth shut. You can't pack it into a 10-minute conversation. Not with family members especially, because they know you how you were. Your family knows you how you were. How you are now is a totally different story. Anyway, so I get to enjoy 2 Easters. 2 Beasters, I'd like to say, this year, as always. But this one just happens to be a week after the regular Easter. Anyway, so enjoy your holiday. And the earth is flat. How you doing? I feel sorry for these people that just don't understand the truth. They really need to. They're too impatient. They're too trained, you know.
I kind of wish I had some sort of weird flat earther uncle at family events, which I don't go to anyway, on my side at least. But I don't know, that'd be fun.
Consumed with their phone, which 15 years ago they didn't have. What were they doing then? You know, like we all were.
15 years ago was, oh god, like 2007? Smartphones existed in 2007, Chris. The iPhone came out in 2008, but there were earlier smartphones. And even before that, people used their phones a lot. They texted and stuff. That was already a meme.
Conclusion? Would life...
Wait, was the iPhone 2008 or was it 2007? I don't remember.
You want to hear my conclusion with life, with all the distractions they have come up with? They have come up with so much shit to confuse you.
2007 is when the first iPhone came out. Blackberries were a thing back then. Gotcha. Yeah, I had phones predating smartphones, and I had a smartphone prior to the iPhone. Like, these things existed, Chris.
So much shit to confuse you. It's endless. I mean, in every corner of the aspect of interest, they have confused you. You know? I mean, in every form, in every platform, they have come up with something to confuse you. And they've been working on it, and they've been working on it for decades and decades and decades. And that produces what you're seeing right now with these people that don't give a shit about anything but themselves. And that is a perfect product of the bullshit that they have made, and the personality of these people when they have more potential than you could possibly imagine to create things, to actually do things over all these decades. When the people, have finally figured out that the earth is flat, that it's stationary.
Yeah, he hasn't said anything. He's getting more and more into his old man rambles recently.
And they have to hide this.
Old man, air quotes. He's not that old, but you know what I mean.
Change anything,
he talks like he's an old man rambling about the good old days.
They know if they do come out and say that we don't live on a planet, we don't live in a solar system, and space doesn't exist, chaos will become. Because of the people that they have trained to think that they live on a planet that's constantly under this bombardment of meteors and bombardment of asteroids and a threat of aliens and a threat of all the nonsense that happens in space. They can make anything that the fuck they want. They can just say there's a fucking black hole coming to us and it's going to suck all the atmosphere off of the planet. Oh, but wait a minute. I'm sorry. We have gravity. So how could the black hole suck all the atmosphere off the planet when we have this mysterious gravity that's holding in all?
The force of a black hole is stronger. I mean, a black hole is gravity. It's basically a gravity well because it is so dense that everything gets pulled into it. If a black hole was close enough to Earth to do anything to the atmosphere, the Earth would also be spaghettified along with everything else in the solar system.
All of the atmosphere. You understand the endless nonsense that they have come up with to just keep and dumb down society? It's just, it's unfucking believable. I am, you know, and I see it even more around the holidays. You know, I mean, I really do. Shop, shop, shop. Buy chocolate, buy the chocolate eggs, buy this, do the cupcakes, do all this nonsense. It's all bullshit. You live your life.
Chris, but tomorrow we can go out and buy cheap, hollow chocolate bunnies, which is the best, so worth it.
You live your day like every day. Nothing special about your day. I'm sorry. What you see up there and where you see the stars and where you see the sun and where you see the moon is exactly what it's going to be like 100 years.
Someone get me a Cadbury egg.
From now, 200 years from now, 300 years from now. God created this specific area for you. And it's never going to change. So don't worry about anything happening. These holidays are nothing but distraction. The only thing people should know and understand is this amazing system we're under here, and a thought for Easter, for Beaster, shall we say, is the creator. That's the only thought that should be going through your head. That this has been created for all of us.
Chris, Easter is a religious holiday. Like, it's a Christian holiday, at least like Easter. I understand there are other, you know, like things and celebrations stemming from like what we call Easter, or that came before rather, that Easter stemmed from. But like Easter, as it's celebrated in the United States, comes from a Christian tradition, which yes, borrowed and took stuff from pagans, but that's true for like a lot of holidays. That's not uncommon. So, what? Tea with Goblin says, important question. Do you eat your chocolate bunnies from the ears down, the feet up, or are you one of those dangerous anarchists that just drops the bunny so it shatters into delicious shards? I started the back. I started its back. Bittergrin says, God created this for us, but Easter is a distraction from God.
Out of love. In a way. It's the best way to describe it.
What do I think Cece is like at family get-togethers? Miserable.
But that's what we're in. Now, what's here and what's been... for the people that run this world, they've
you eat that bunny ass? I do eat that bunny ass.
Created hell, and the people around you who are negative and with that negative attitude and that...
You're the one with the negative attitude, Chris! What? You hate everything and everyone.
And they're just... They're lost. You know, they haven't found their way yet. You know, but every flat earther is going to go
Thanks,
through
Poetic
this,
Fox.
You know, and I especially feel it a lot during the holidays. You know, the madness, the nonsense, and I see, I don't even really acknowledge it anymore. You know, I mean, I really, in a way, I just don't. I just don't acknowledge these holidays anymore, at all. I have no. There's no reason for it, you know. I mean, it's all made up. It's to get you to spend money, to get you to buy shit you'll never buy. You know, 2 months before you would have never thought you would have bought this on this particular holiday because of somebody telling you that you should buy this. It's nonsense. It's garbage. Just live your day like you regularly do, because none of this means anything, you know. The only thing that means something is life, and what you do with your life, and what you believe. That's how it is.
Marcus Drake says, speaking of pagan holidays, would you be interested in doing streams of the holidays about the holidays that influenced us, like Roman Lupercalia for Easter, Samhain for Halloween, or Saturnalia for Christmas? Like, I know that's a thing. It just doesn't interest me very much.
So find yourself.
Hydrate.
Understand who created all this. And there is no space, and you live on a flat, stationary land. And you're loved by somebody up there. I don't know if it's a he or she or whoever it may be. So just take this for your Beaster Sunday. Thank you for subbing, and thank you for viewing my videos. Let me be a part of your life.
Chris. Okay. Let's see who we're gonna raid. Thanks everyone for coming to the stream and hanging out while we, found some new conspiracy theorists to take a look at. I appreciate that. So, everyone have a good evening. I will be back tomorrow for something. I'm gonna go rest my voice because it feels blown out. And I'm also hungry, so I will eat food. All right, have a good night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Hope you had a good Easter. If you have tomorrow off, enjoy the long weekend. If not, I hope work isn't too bad for you tomorrow. See you guys later.